If the fish has got a good head, guys, you just throw that fucker back in and let it keep swimming. I don't know.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
My name is Busy Phillips, and this is Busy Phillips is doing her best. I'm joined by Shantira Jackson, Casey St. Ange, per usual.
Hi.
Per
Hello.
usual. Well, guys, we made it through another week of life.
Oh, Lord. What a week.
What a week it's been. It's so crazy because here's the thing. You know that theory about like as you get older, years get shorter?
Yeah.
You know that, right? Like
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody at home, you know that theory, right? Like because you've lived a life. I don't even fucking know. What's the theory, guys?
It goes by
you're
really
like-
fast.
No, but you like
You're getting to the end of it.
well, it's that you've already lived every year that you've lived, whatever. It's like when you drive to Palm Springs for the first time and it like feels like it takes forever. But then the 30th time that you drive to Palm Springs, you're like, oh my God, we're already in Palm Springs. That's what life is like.
Palm
what
Springs
years
break,
are
everybody. From LA, that's like 2 hours. But if the traffic's bad, maybe 3.
But my point is that, or like anywhere that you drive to, the way home feels faster, even if it's the exact same amount of time. That's what years are like in your life.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't know this, that's what we're talking about. As you get older, years feel shorter.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess they are sort of like, there is some sort of scientific thing that they're like, I don't even fucking know, that they actually are kind of shorter for, I don't even know. I don't understand it. I'm not a quantum physicist.
Well, everything
shockingly.
feels longer now.
But this is what I'm saying is that like this 2020 was like such a, like time ceased to exist in any meaningful way for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And like for some people, I would imagine talking to this lawyer, I had to sign these papers and like it was a husband, like this sort of older couple and their husband and wife, like the husband's the notary and the wife is the lawyer. It was real cute. And they were telling us about their adult daughters and they're like, oh, we actually have some kids that live in California. 2 of our daughters live in California. They're saying one of their like 32-year-old daughter is an ER nurse.
Oh, God.
In Orange County.
Wow.
And
the
we
worst.
kind of, yeah. And we were talking about it and it's tough, man. And like overwhelming. And they were just talking about the trauma that she's been going through this year. And I was like, I bet that for some people this has been like, I don't even know. I don't know, actually. I don't know how you get through it. Like you're in like war, you're in a fugue state, right? Like I don't even know if they're like registering time.
What are you touching?
So, is this? I always sound like I'm making so much noise, but to me it doesn't sound like anything. But you guys are like,
Here's what I think it's the microphones on top of your Zoom recorder are picking up every time you tidy, which is like your you tidy your desk a lot.
well, I do it because I have ADD and it's hard for me to just do one thing, i.e., talk.
Yeah,
to you guys.
I know.
So I need
we gotta
to like,
get you like a fidget spinner. Or
I don't think that that's the answer. I'm almost positive. I don't want that.
2 fidget spinners.
You know, for a minute when we first started the podcast, I would paint my nails. Do you remember that?
That's really hard.
That's
I
a
can't do
quiet activity.
It was a quiet
Yeah.
activity and it was nice.
Yeah.
But now I don't need to do that because I'm on a show and I have nails done. Anyway, my point being, this week felt like the longest week of my life.
Yeah. Why?
You guys, I can't. Well, because well, it's weird. We talked. So, guys, a little bit later in the show, we didn't do an interview this week, but we just got on the phone with each other and recorded it the day after the inauguration, just because like we wanted to break it all down for you.
Inauguration Special, baby. Fresh off the top of our head.
Interviewed ourselves.
Yeah, about the inauguration. And but like I had strep throat last week. I was very, very, very sick. I had to stay home from work, which was wild. Never in my career have I had to stay home from work. Maybe I talked about this in the middle of the show. Yeah, I think I do.
I think you do.
And then also just like I don't even like a week ago, there was still another person that was the president.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I mean. This week just feels like it's like, what the fuck? It's only been a week?
Surreal. It's surreal.
Yeah, I think also like we were just so ready for everything to massively change. And of course, that's not what's going to happen. Like, of course, that change takes time, as we were discussing. So I think like, you know, we had this big buildup and this excitement, and then it happened. And then like we're kind of back to the same thing, you know, having strep throat and being home. And
My strep throat, I do think, was a reaction to a bunch of stuff in the world, including DT leaving office.
I think a lot of people have been holding in a lot of crying, a lot of stress. Your body takes care of you. I know that a friend of mine had the experience where like you have like a traumatic experience and then like your body's like, no, not yet. And then when you're on the other side of it, your body's like, yes, all the pain we stored for this amount of time, you can deal with it now because you're in a safe place. And I think that that is going to be what a lot of people are going through right now, because their bodies have really been protecting them, have been protecting us as we live through like trauma and terror. And now that we have someone who is not terrorizing us, it's not over. It's like now people have to begin to deal with the feelings, the trauma, and the emotions that we had during all that. He terrorized us.
Terrorizing. Terrorizing.
He terrorized us from the beginning. And it was really hard, too, because news outlets wouldn't say that.
No.
They were like, this is the day he became better. This is the day he finally, it's like he's full on
I think
terrorizing
what you're
us.
seeing here is that he's taking a tone that's a little bit
His
more
tone has changed.
professional. And you're like, what the fuck?
And a thing that, too, I think people are also going to be grappling with, something that's really fucking making me mad, is that all of a sudden we know how to criticize leadership. Like all of a sudden, just like Joe Biden has a Peloton and a Rolex. And it's like, Trump lived in a golden castle. All of a sudden, now you have the fucking gall. So, like, that's infuriating, too, because it was like, well, they don't want to do it. They can't do it. Their hands are tied. But it's like, no, their hands aren't tied. They're literally full of shit.
But also, on Shantira, we talk about this in the middle of the show because we talk about the fashion of the inauguration. But, like, I don't care about money that people have and choose to spend on whatever they fucking choose to spend it on.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Is it not Bose?
It's not. It's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's not.
Okay.
No, but because I just saw that debunked.
There
but
you go.
but like also like who gives a fuck? I don't care. I don't care where he got the Rolex. He
Who cares?
He has a
He's
fucking
grown-up.
Rolex.
You want to know where he didn't get it? From our fucking tax dollars. That's where he didn't get it. You know what I mean? And I think that's
like
what
that thing like that like that like there's a way to be there's a way to be a certain thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just bullshit.
Well,
I don't
think
know, guys.
a thing too is that this is a thing about class that our media gets really bad. And it's like, I don't want my leader to have a Rolex. No, baby. I want everybody who is being led to have a Rolex. Let's stop talking. I don't need Joe Biden to come down. I don't need Joe Biden to come down to me. I need everybody else elevated. And that's the distraction. The distraction is about people with money tax the fuck out of him. And if you tax him properly, I don't care what he does with his fucking money, right? So like, I think that that's a thing that people are missing. And it's just like, he's elitist. I don't give a fuck. You want to know what? We should make a great equalizer. Give me enough money for a Rolex. Until you're talking about raising people up, I don't give a fuck, because he's been in the game forever. It's a distraction. So I think that that's the thing. Like, also, I want my president to have a Rolex. That's great. As long as he didn't fucking rob a bunch of people with a fake college to get it. Like, come on.
I tweeted about this, but I once had the opportunity to break a Rolex.
What?
I was like, everybody's talking about Rolexes. When I worked for Dave Letterman, he received an antique Rolex as a gift from someone. But it was like the time was stopped on it. And he was like, I never had a Rolex. What do? Do you wind it? And I was like, I don't know. Do you wind it? And I took it and wound it, and it sprang apart like a cartoon clock.
That's
in my hands.
That's
genius.
terrifying.
And I was like, it was like one of those moments where you just freeze, and then he busted out laughing at my face because I looked like I was like just filling my pants with poop.
Well, I mean that you're as an assistant, that's like, that must fucking suck. Remember when Ray broke my necklace and then told me about it, and you were like, "Ugh, such an amateur move. You should have just gotten it fixed and not told
Just
you.
fix it.
Just get it
If
fixed
you don't break-
and don't tell her."
If you don't break it in front of the person, as I did, then yeah, there's no reason to ever.
Have you guys ever like splurged on something really nice for yourself and then like immediately ruined it?
No, but I'll tell you what, I did get a beautiful crystal bowl from Tiffany, like a cut crystal bowl from Tiffany as a wedding gift. I registered at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Right.
But there were certain people that were guests at my wedding that felt that like I needed something beyond Bed Bath & Beyond.
Sure.
So somebody gave me this very expensive cut crystal bowl. And literally the second that I took it out of the gift box and was lifting it up into a very high cabinet where it would never be used, I dropped it and it smashed on the floor. And I was like, I was glad that I couldn't even like get a hold of what was happening, because the smashing of that crystal on the floor was one of the most spectacular things I've ever seen in my life. Like, I was so happy that I saw it. It broke up into these big, beautiful chunks of crystal.
I bet that was like amazing.
It was really amazing. And I was like, you know what? It was kind of worth it to drop it.
But did you put the crystal like in
a
a
jar
bowl or something, or like a vase?
Yeah, I think I used it like a vase filler.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a great idea.
I'm on board with that.
I always wanted to, like, I loved doing like my hair and makeup and whatever, and getting ready, and that my first like house that I was like buying my own furniture for. This was before Mark and I got married, but like right before. And my friend Sarah Shetter, who is an interior designer and still is my interior designer still, and still my good friend. But she was like, let's like custom make. She's like, what do you want for in the like closet room? And I was like, I really want like a vanity where I can sit and do my makeup. It's like my dream from childhood. And she's like, do you want an antique one? Blah, 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 blah. I was like, I really want like an all mirrored vanity, like real Hollywoody, like fucking fancy ass bullshit. So she's like, let's get it made. So she got this thing, and it was expensive, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to like buy this for myself. It's so, big mirror. It was like had a mirror and it was mirrored, the whole thing. I got it into my house. It was so beautiful. And day one, I put my curling iron on it.
No.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, and just turn that curling iron on and just set it down on that.
The heat.
Top of
Busy, the heat.
I was like, Shantira, and I said out loud, this is why you can't have nice things, Busy. This is why.
You just turned that into a disco ball first day.
It was unbelievable. And Sarah was like, what did you do? I'm like, I don't even want to talk about. I don't want to talk about it. We're just going to have to fix it. And this is why I can't have nice things. But I was like hysterical. Like, I felt like it was like it impugned my character. Like, it meant something about me. You know what I mean? Like, that I'm like so careless and such an asshole, and I shouldn't have nice things like that. But
we've worked
whatever.
through that.
I just, you know what? Guys, I just got it fixed, and it was fine. and I learned a lesson about heat.
I was going to say, it's good to know yourself, though. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like. Shantira, have you ever destroyed anything brand new that you splurged on?
Okay, I didn't destroy something for me. Okay, this is a story from my childhood. When I was younger, I got like a bike for my birthday. I think it was either a bike or rollerblades. Either way, I used to have one of those things, and then at one point in time, I had both. And I was like, you know what I got to do, right? I got to ride this bike wearing these rollerblades.
What? I did the same thing.
So I was like, I gotta fucking do it. So my auntie had just graduated college. She was 22, and everybody in the family got her a brand new Mazda. Brand spanking new Mazda. And I was like, everybody was like, this is her present. And I remember that I put my rollerblades on and I got my bike. And now that I'm older, I know I should have took the bike out of the garage and then rollerbladed out there. I decided I was going to do both I didn't make it past the garage. I fell over, bike
oh no,
and rollerblades fresh, beautiful, brand new dent in this brand new Mazda. She had it literally less than a week. And I had to, everybody in the family knew it because they bought the fucking car. I had my dad, my grandma, my aunties, everybody was like,
oh no.
So then I got in trouble. I was crying. I was like, I ruined the new car. And they never fixed it. Like, she had that car for like 8 years, and they just had that dent in the back from when Kira got rollerblades and or a bike and fell into it week 1. So that is my story of destroying something really fancy.
That is,
oh my God.
You know what you got to do? You have to buy her a Mazda now.
One day I'll buy her a Mazda. I'll never.
Okay.
One day.
It wasn't.
You know what, though?
Like,
You took the pressure off of her. You know what I mean? Because there's
Oh,
like
good
something
point.
about that first dent. Because we like bought a new Prius years ago, and a kid from the neighborhood on the first day that we had the brand new off the lot Prius, which I mean, I know it's a Prius, like it's,
But
know,
it's
same
your
as a
Prius.
Mazda. Yeah, brand new. This kid rode his bike up the driveway to like come see if our kids could come play, and he had like, you know how the grips on the bike, like sometimes they get punched through and it's just like a pipe is like your handlebar.
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
The bare handlebar just scraped straight up the side of the Prius. Like I heard it and I was like, oh man, Jack. And then his name was Jack. His name still is Jack. He's an adult now, but I just was like, wow, now like
It is
now yeah, he took the pressure off. The car has like has been christened, and I didn't do it. Some kid from a neighborhood did it.
Do you know how hard it is to go to a room full of grown-ups and be like, I am a baby. I did a bad thing. I destroyed a car. And I was just like, ugh, I did get in trouble. I got like grounded, quote unquote, which was just like I couldn't watch 5 hours of TV instead of the 12 I was watching already. But I was
They should have
really
grounded you from your rollerblades and bike.
I was in so much trouble because like my dad was like, you knew that was a bad idea. And I was like, yeah, which is why I was doing it when no one was around. And that's how I ended up falling into the car.
Shantira, but seriously, I too, mine were definitely roller skates. I tried to roller skate while riding my new bike.
Yeah.
But
It
I
makes
broke
sense.
my wrist.
Oh,
I fell
no.
off and broke my wrist.
Damn. No.
And then I was too embarrassed to tell my mom what I was doing, and she was like, "This isn't adding up. Like this doesn't make sense."
well,
What
maybe
I was
would've-
saying didn't make sense.
Maybe I would have broke my wrist if that car wouldn't have broken my fall.
The Mazda saved you.
The Mazda saved me.
Lucky Mazda.
Today's podcast is brought to us by Mazda. That's kind of funny. I mean, I wonder if that's like a common thing that goes through kids. Kids are so dumb. Like you think
But
of the dumbest shit to do.
It makes sense because I was like, I know how to hold this bike up. I know how to rollerblade. I feel like I'll go faster with more wheels. I was like 8, y'all. It's not like I was a fucking genius.
Same. I was 8.
I was like 8, and I was like, whoa, I got 2 pairs of wheels. I gotta do them at the same time.
Why did you and I both have that exact same thought? It's really weird.
I think
that's really weird.
I think
Hey guys, at home, if you tried to rollerblade and or roller skate and ride a bike at the same time, will you just drop us a line? Because I think it's weird that Shantira and I both did that. Casey, you never tried to do that, did you?
I never did that. No, I never did that.
Yeah.
You're way
But
too
you
smart.
know what? I didn't have roller skates. I don't think.
Well,
I
there you go.
probably would have tried it. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
Bike
guys,
only for me.
two things. Number one. Anyway, guys, let us know if you
Yeah,
if you,
drop a line.
if you did that when you were a kid. Okay, first of all, number one, you know how I've told you that we're almost positive that Gina, I don't know how this works. I don't know how it is possible, but that Gina is our cat Verdell reincarnated.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, guys, we don't know. But Verdell was a cat that we loved dearly. She was taken too soon. She had a heart attack in front of us. Did you know cats can have
no.
heart attacks?
I did know that.
That
can.
is okay. Here's the thing. That's not funny. But anytime I hear something that is like so shockingly bad, my response is to go, "What?"
Okay,
And
the whole
that-
Verdell story is insane. So basically, okay. So Mark and his ex, like they were gonna get married, like long time ago. got this cat together, or the ex-girlfriend wanted the cat, the ex-fiance wanted the cat. And so they adopted this cat, Verdell, together as a kitten. But then her grandma got sick or something out of town. And so like immediately, as soon as they adopted the kitten, she like split town for almost 3 weeks or something, like 2.5 weeks to go take care of her elderly grandma or something. They're in their 20s. And so the cat like bonded hard to Mark. So when they broke up, a couple of years later, he was like, okay, but I'm keeping this cat. And Verdell was, and then he was single for a long time before he and I started dating. Verdell was like his best little friend. And she was like, I didn't like cats at all when I started dating Mark, and I did not like Verdell particularly. And like, and she was like, barely tolerated me. But also like I remember like I would wake up in the middle of the night and she'd be eating my hair. Like she was just like, I don't know. And she was really fluffy, fat, and orange. And then like as time went on, she and I came to an understanding, and occasionally she would let me put wigs on her and take pictures, which was cute. And I have really good pictures of her like in like my like purple wig that like with the bangs to the side.
You know that cat liked you because cats fucking hate that.
Yeah. No, she and I like we definitely came to an understanding, and I like ended up really liking her. And then I had Birdie, and I was nervous about having a cat and a baby because I was afraid that the cat was going to suck the baby's breath out. Isn't that like
those old wives' tale?
wives'
Yeah, that cats will smother your baby or
Yes.
suck their breath out.
Uh-huh.
Or,
And my mom was like, you better watch it with that cat around that baby, Elizabeth. That cat's going to suck its breath right out. I was like, oh, God, no. But Verdell was like endlessly sweet and patient with Birdie. And when Birdie was a baby, Verdell would let Birdie like literally pull on her tail and like just chase her around. And Verdell wasn't particularly afraid. She was just like kind of just like moseying around.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is the confluence of circumstances that led to Verdell's demise, and also why I'm convinced that she has come back to us in dog form as Gina. So anyway, Birdie was about to start preschool, and Birdie and Verdell had gotten really close. Like they were buddies. Like they really, really loved each other. And so I think Birdie was like 3.5. Yeah. And about to start preschool, and was very, very nervous, had a lot of anxiety about it. And all of a sudden one night, Verdell always slept in our room. And then one night I was like, where's Verdell? And I went in, and Verdell was at the end of Birdie's bed and slept there every night until Birdie started preschool, like just calming Birdie down. Now, like a week and a half later, I was wearing these like platform heels, and I stepped on the end of Verdell's tail.
Oh no.
Yeah. This is, it was, yes. And I felt terrible, like just terrible, and like cried and cried. Verdell was not happy about it. And I was like, do we have to take her to the vet? What do you do? It's like the end of her tail. And Mark's like, I don't think you do anything. I don't know. I've never taken her to the vet. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, yeah, she doesn't go to the vet. I don't know. Why do cats need to go to the vet? She just stays. I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure you have to take your cat to the vet. He's like, I haven't been to the dentist in 4 years. I was like, wait, what? Like, wait, we have to talk about some things, first of all.
And you had a child at this point?
Yeah. So anyway, Casey, things moved fast. And like, I didn't ask a ton of questions. I'm just going to be honest. Like, that like literally the week before we got married, I said to Mark, so is it Silverstein or IEN? And he was like, you don't know how to spell my last name. And I'm like, I'm just asking. I'm just double checking. I fully did not know how to spell Silverstein. Okay, so anyway. So delis. So I was like, well, I guess she doesn't have to go to the vet. But then like the end of her tail was like getting weird. And I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And I looked it up online, and it's like neuropathy of the tail or something. Like I had killed
God.
the end of her tail. But it's apparently shouldn't have been a big deal. They just like lob off the end of her tail where I've stepped
Just a
on her with a platform
minor
shoe.
amputation.
Listen, guys, I felt terrible. I cried. It was like horrible. I felt like
Of
such a
course.
fucking asshole. I was also like, just wait. I know. So and Mark is like, literally Verdell's not been to the vet since she like got her surgery as a kitten. I was like, this is wild. Okay, whatever, dude. Or maybe she had like a urinary infection or at some point, whatever. I don't know. So he rarely took her to the vet. So I find this vet, but she didn't have a vet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I found this vet. We took her down there. The vet was like looking at her tail. She's like, oh yeah. Okay. Well, this is like pretty simple, but like, we are going to have to put her under and we'll have to take off. It was like the end. It was basically like the size of my pinky nail is what had to be taken off. Okay. 2 centimeters. I'm not excusing myself. I feel really guilty about it. It was a mistake and whatever.
It was an accident.
It was an accident. Okay. But then I was like, no shoes in the house ever again. And that's why we never wore shoes in the house. Anyway. So then the doctor, this vet that we took her to was like, but also like, has she had her teeth cleaned? And we're like, well, no, I don't think ever. I think she was 11 or 12 at this point. 12 maybe. And she's like, well, while she's under, we should really clean her teeth. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, and also she's got this like thing on her neck. So basically the tiny little like tail situation became like, she definitely has to have her teeth cleaned. And there's like this lump on her neck that we need to just like biopsy or take out or I don't even fucking know. And I don't know. I was just like, again, in a place where I'm like, okay, I guess you know what's best, when what I should have said is like, you know what, let's just do the tail right now. And like, we'll come back later. But I didn't. Mark and I didn't. They did all of those things to the cat. We got her back and she was like a shell of a human, a shell of a kitty.
No.
She was just like shocked. Like and they were like, we ended up having to they had to extract like 3 or 4 teeth because they were raw. I don't even fucking know. It was a disaster. And we had to give her this pain medicine. So she came back and this like little biopsy, it looked like they had cut her like half her neck off. Do you know what I mean? Like the stitches went from like halfway around her neck. So I don't know what the fuck was going on, but like it wasn't great. And she was really, really unhappy. And we were trying to give her pain medicine. She hated it. She was just like panicking. And the next morning, it was a Saturday. I was like, I feel like we should take her back to the vet. I don't know. And I feel like weird about this. Like she's in pain. I can tell she's in pain. And we were kind of like debating about what to do. And she fully started having a heart attack. A cat. And she was like seizing and having this heart attack, and I like we did not handle it well. I mean, I was like, the only thing I could think was like I needed Mark to leave because I didn't want him to see her die, because it was, oh no, I'm gonna cry, because it was like his cat and he loved her so much. And I was like, I'll give her mouth to cat, like call the vet, like call 911. So I was giving her mouth to cat resuscitation and like trying to like pump her little body, and she just like died in my arms, and it was so horrible. And I was like hysterically crying. And so then Mark came in. Mark was hysterically crying, and then we were like, oh no, we have a 3.5-year-old somewhere, child. And then Birdie came in. Like Birdie didn't know what was happening. We were like, I was like, get her out of here. Like we did everything. I did everything wrong. I was like screaming. It was a disaster. But Ileana came over. Ileana is our kid's longtime nanny and never, like at that point, like never worked on weekends. But I called Ileana and I was like, you have to come as an emergency. Ileana came. Mark and I buried the cat in the front yard. New people who are listening to my podcast, because I know you listen to this podcast because you want to know everything that I say and if it pertains to you. Yeah, so the dead cat is buried in the front yard. Oh my God. But look at who just showed up.
That's right.
Gina.
That's every yard, by the way. Like my yard in Connecticut was like 80% animal skeletons.
Well, they've got Verdell, and then they've got 2 hamsters, and I think that's it. Fingers crossed. But so anyway, but yeah, so that was the sad story of Verdell. And we were just like devastated. And I especially I took it really hard because I felt like I'd been so slow to warm to Verdell. And then right before she died, she had done this thing like where she had just given her comfort and her animal self to my baby, who was really nervous about going to school. And I felt so bad. I loved her so much. I wanted her to know how much I like appreciated it, and I loved her. And for years I would hear her thump down off the bed, like ghost thumps. Like, have you ever so it'd be like dum dum. It sounds like it's a very specific sound. It's Verdell jumping off the bed. Dum dum. And we'd hear it for years. So anyway, we get this fucking dog. And this dog is weirdly and what the joke about Verdell was that she was a dog. Like she always acted like a dog. She didn't act like a cat. And but some ways she acted like a cat. And so we get Gina, and like, I don't know, week 3 or 4, I was looking at her and I was like, Verdell, is it you? Is it you? And so we really have thought that this is Verdell, and Gina makes the exact same noise when she jumps off the bed. Dum dum. Gina, you can sit up here. Gina, come here. Baby, come here. You can sit up here if you want. Come on. So then, you know how she was like a table dog? Like she would always jump up on tables. Remember when she was a puppy?
Yeah.
Sort of broke her of that habit. But then today, I guess Mark came home. I went to work at 5 a.m. And the spoon that I had used for my coffee, which I'd put in the sink, and something else was like on the kitchen floor. And he was like, oh God, she's jumping back up onto the stools and then up onto a counter. And like, what is she doing? And so I got home from work tonight, and he's like, I don't know what's going on, but Gina's like, we have to make sure that all the chairs are pushed in so she can't jump up, blah, 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 blah. And I was like standing there talking to him. And then all of a sudden, like a fucking cat, she leapt silently and was standing on top of the kitchen counter and walked over to the kitchen sink like Verdell used to do. Sorry, this is a really long story just to tell you that I'm pretty sure that our dog is reincarnated from our dead cat.
Well, she loves dead cat stuff like bird wings, which I feel like dogs like
That's right.
Straight up bird wings feels like cat shit to me.
That's right. Shakira.
I think that cats are petty. I think that dogs are just like, I don't know, but I think cats are like, oh, I feel like Verdell like looked you in the eye and died on purpose. That's a vibe. And then was like, I'll be back, bitch. So like, I really love the idea of Verdell being like, you just fucking wait. I'm coming back in a nimble body that will be left alone often. And I'm going to do some cat shit.
But also like, do some cat shit, but also like, I love Gina so completely that like, I feel like Verdell was like, oh shit, I missed out on all the love.
Aww.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm getting to like give the protective animal love.
Oh yeah. I think that Verdell's petty, and I'm here for it because I love that. She was just like, I'm gonna make you watch me die, and then I'm gonna come back and do whatever I want. And I'm like, that is a cat vibe. A dog buys it and die. They don't want you to see it.
She looked me in the eye. It was like, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. And I was just screaming, get out of here! You can't see this. Don't look at it. And I was like breathing into her little nose and mouth. Oh. It was sad.
Well, I'm glad she came back to you.
Me too.
It's like a Bonnie Hunt movie.
I am basically like Bonnie Hunt, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah.
So we can't have nice things, but at least our pets come back.
Yeah. I mean, Verdell's doing her best to possess the body of your dog Gina.
I mean, yeah, I feel like Who knows how 9 lives work,
Exactly.
Casey?
Here's my question. Do you believe that Gina is Verdell reincarnated, or do you believe that Verdell is possessing Gina?
Oh, no. I think it's reincarnation for sure.
Okay, because
I
one
think
is
it's
a
like a
really
dog's-
positive, a positive connotation, and one is scary.
No, or not. Or like Soul, the movie Soul. It's not that scary. It's just like
It is what it is.
another little soul just hops in there. I mean, I do think that
Spoiler alert.
I don't know. Maybe there's maybe listen. Maybe animals. Maybe a dog's journey is a true story.
Oh yeah.
I never saw it. But isn't it just like about a dog that just keeps coming back to the same owner, or the same owner keeps finding the same dog?
I don't remember.
Isn't that what it is?
I don't remember because
I don't know.
Well, it's because like what's the one with Jennifer Aniston where everybody cries? The dog one. You know what I'm talking about? The dog movie.
Marley and
Oh,
Me?
that's Marley and Me.
So
That's
like
different.
I know, but like after Marley and Me, there's just been like a lot. Like Marley and Me was so successful, then we just got like hella dog movies.
Yeah.
That are just like, how do we get this dog and this family forever? So like after Marley and Me, I'm like, there's a Dennis Quaid one, and then there's like a
That's the dog's journey.
yeah, but then there's like another dog movie where like the dog is played
A
by
Dog's
a
Life.
man. Yeah, it's a bunch of weird shit.
Oh.
I'm not trying to watch a sad dog movie.
No one wants a sad dog movie.
No, let's just do that Homeward Bound life where everybody comes back.
Yeah.
Guys, guess what? Speaking of Homeward Bound, guess what is coming to us?
What?
What?
The cats.
Oh,
Our cats.
That's exciting.
You guys remember that we have cats?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, probably not as much as you remember it, because we've never
We have
met
these-
your cats.
You've never met my cat?
No,
Nope.
they stay in the bathroom.
Oh, right, because you're allergic, right?
No, I just have never seen your cats in your house before, because like they live upstairs and they never come downstairs.
They were scared, and
Yeah.
they don't like people that much.
Yeah.
We tried to, you know what it was? You know what it is like, when you have everybody has this experience. I feel like if you have pets, like if you had a really great pet, i.e. Verdell, and then you're like chasing the dragon, you're
Yeah.
trying to like get another really great pet. So we got these like 2 cats that are just like assholes and they like don't like us. I'm telling you. Well,
they're
they
the
might,
ones.
like,
They're the ones who flooded your fucking house, right?
yes, they flooded our house.
They turned on the sink, and while you were at work, flooded your whole house. So you being like, people will be like, cats are assholes. If a cat stuffed a bunch of shit in your sink and flooded your house, that's an asshole move if you ask me. I'm just saying, like,
It's a true story, and I don't even understand how it really happened at this point in my life. It feels like another like lifetime, but those cats were really jerky, and they really flooded our house.
Yeah.
And caused a bunch of damage. And now there's an insurance commercial that's like essentially the same thing. But anyway, but the kids have really been missing the cats, and I don't know why. It's not like they ever really paid attention to them. They say they miss them. And also I think the kids just miss it, life, their lives. And it's not really fair to like just leave our cats with Ileana for the rest of their lives. So there's this like cat moving company.
They
We're
belong.
we're basically like paying someone to drive our cats.
yeah, people do it all
Yeah.
the time
To
because
us.
they're like anxiety ridden, and also like, please don't.
You can't fly
You
'em.
can't fly them.
No.
Cats are. You can barely carry a cat downstairs. You think you're gonna put a cat on a plane and they're gonna be chill?
No. So the cats are coming to us, and we'll see.
That's chill.
We'll see how that goes.
That's exciting for them.
It's exciting for Birdie, I think, mostly, and maybe Cricket. I don't know. I don't think Cricket cares about it.
Probably mostly exciting for Ileana.
I think Ileana's gonna miss them.
You
I
think
don't
so?
I think that she's really enjoyed having them.
Aw, that's good.
Actually, but Ileana's actually coming here
That's
Oh,
cool.
to visit, and she has to quarantine. You have to quarantine now in New York. It's if you get a negative test before you fly, then you have to quarantine for 4 days. And on the 4th day, you can get a test.
Yeah.
And then if that one's negative, then you're okay.
You guys should buy her that helmet.
What helmet?
That like Do you know that helmet? That
Yeah, I saw it's like a space helmet.
all the cool people on Instagram are taking
it's
pictures with their
helmet
their
where
COVID
like
helmets.
if you sneeze in it, it's the most disgusting thing in the world. Yeah.
Wait, how do you buy it? How much is it?
I think it's like $300. I think it went up. I think the price went up.
Yikes.
But yeah, I saw some people on Instagram posing with their helmets that they got just in case.
In case what? It's all
In case what?
like
I don't know.
it can't get any worse than what it is right now.
Like,
knock on
just
wood.
in case you have $300 that you want to spend on a helmet.
If I bought your husband a COVID helmet, would he wear it to work?
I don't know. I don't think he'd be allowed, to be honest.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'm not getting him one.
No, yeah. He's double masking it, but I don't. I
Well, you're
think,
supposed to now because there's a new variant of.
You guys, what's happening in LA and why did Gavin Newsom reopen dining?
I think he reopened it because all the Republicans in Los Angeles are live in Orange County and they're trying to impeach him.
yeah, they're trying to recall Gavin Newsom. He's trying to avoid being recalled, and the people that are trying to recall him are the people that think that COVID's a hoax. So it seems like he's just trying to.
He's trying to run for president in 2024 while a bunch of other people in California are dead. That is what Gavin Newsom is trying to do. And it's really frustrating because it's like, also, the people in Orange County, you're so rich. Just hang out there and do your rich shit then if you don't believe in COVID. Like, why the whole state of California? I don't know, man. It's just like very disheartening to watch, like, because I trust no man. So even then I was like, all right, I think that he'll be okay. And now I'm like, see, that's why I only trust Angela Bassett. I bet you she wouldn't try to fucking kill us.
She wouldn't.
No. But it is, it's a bummer because, I mean, I get it. Like, I get that businesses are having a hard time. I just feel like we're stuck in this forever because we never successfully.
You have to shut it down. The thing is, you have to give people money. That is the answer.
Right.
Money literally is the answer for everything. And I think one of the things about this country is that we hate poor people so much that white supremacy, right? We would rather people die than not be poor, which is literally what's happening. Because if people are not poor, this doesn't happen. But it's like, if we give everybody money, then like we can't exploit their labor. Oh, let's let them die, which is like also a way you cannot exploit their labor if they're dead.
Right.
But like, give everybody fucking 10 grand, shut it down, and then we get a lot more people get to stay alive. But we rather people be poor than alive, which is fucked up.
I am curious, even if they gave everybody 10 grand, I wonder if people would lock it down. I wonder if people would be like, I got 10 grand. Let's get an Airbnb.
I think that that's the thing, too, is that we're punishing the majority based on a minority. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's that thing where it's like, well, we're giving people $600. That's more than I make at my job. And it's like, you should be upset at your job. You shouldn't be upset about the people who are getting $600. And that's that same instance. It's like, well, if people have money, I won't be better than them anymore. And we can't have that. And I think people really need to look into, like, if everybody's getting money, why are you upset that somebody who's not working is getting money? That means that you really think that the value of life is based on money. And that's fucked up. So go think about why you're mad.
It's so weird to me that they're opening dining. Like that's, because, and people keep saying like, well, it's good for people. It's good for the restaurant and it's good for the workers in the restaurant. I'm like, what about looking at a person in a mask with a visor over their face, serving you food with a terrified look in their eyes is appetizing to you?
And if these people had enough money, they would not do this.
Right.
They don't want to give you fucking tacos. You know what I mean? Like they want to be at home. So I think it's really interesting that people also they make the least amount of money, which is why I really would love for like the minimum wage to be raised. But like, God, just like give people money so that they don't have be they don't. I mean, like, shout out to they'll be like, oh, order from restaurants. Man, shut those restaurants down and let those people go home.
Right.
And then tell everybody to learn how to fucking cook for 2 weeks. Like,
I don't want to rat this person out, but somebody in my life that I am close to who is a restaurant server also made the point that most of the people that will dine in a restaurant now are not great tippers.
no, they're not great tippers, and they're also not usually good people.
Because they're like it's kind of like a Venn diagram of like people who don't think the pandemic is that serious, and they're like, you know, they think like, oh, you're back to work, you're getting money now that you weren't getting any before. So it's just like a Venn diagram of people that never were good tippers to begin with, but now it's like those are the only people that are being served in dining.
I hate people that aren't good tippers.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
It's fucking bullshit.
Especially
like
now.
The whole system is silly because of like, you know, it's like below minimum wage servers.
It's like $2, right?
Yeah. And so they depend on tips. And then, you know, if you're in like a cycle where people aren't tipping and like when the economy is bad, people skimp on their tips. And, you know, it's just one of those things, again, where because it's not a rule, it's like the honor system where you're like, you know, you decide how much you want to tip based on the service you feel you got. Here's what's customary. But so many people are like, yeah, but I feel like 7% is good. And, you know, it's like, it's not great because people aren't making a living wage as servers.
It is an exploitation of labor. This country is built on the exploitation of labor. Literally, slaves were exploited labor. People who work at restaurants are exploited labor because they make less money.
But it's always been, obviously enslaved people in this country, but like beyond even that, it was always beyond, because obviously enslaved humans is a fucked up situation. It was always like the work of like building the railroads and the infrastructure and all of that was always like whatever immigrant population was like last to show up, and they would get paid the least. Right.
Or
so they would pay like nothing. The people that like built the fucking rail system across the country got paid like, you know,
nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what they are doing with minimum wage at this point.
Oh,
like our entire country, like it became like the greatest country. You're exactly right. It became the greatest country in the world
at exploiting people's labor.
By exploiting.
And then like
people. That's fun.
Even like I think about like our like 40-hour work week. Like there is me and my partner have talked about this. It's like we're not supposed to be working this much. Like people aren't alive to do work. And I think that if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to be an actor, if you want to be a writer, that's fucking great. But there are some people who are just supposed to like hang out. Right. Or maybe like there are some people who are like, I think about like Michelangelo and like how like there used to be people like rich people who commissioned art, and it was like his job was to like hang out and then fuck with the Sistine Chapel. Like that's what he was built to do. But now there's people who legit should be doing Sistine Chapel shit, fucking working at McDonald's for not enough money because we exploit so much labor and don't let people make a decision about what they want their life to be. It's like we like go to work to make money, to pay for housing and to pay for food. And it's like food and housing is a human right. We should have it already. That way people can do what they want. And if you want to be a doctor, fucking great. If you don't want to do shit, that doesn't mean you're not worthy of being alive. And that is the trick that gets you. It's like, if you're not working, you're not worthy of anything. Homie, if you don't want to do shit, that makes sense. We ain't supposed to be doing all this shit.
Well, that brings me to this, which is so crazy. So I can't remember if I talked about this when we talked. You guys, I can't remember anything anymore. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
What is time?
Yeah. What is time? Last week I got strep throat, and I woke up and I was like, oh God, I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just like, I don't know what to do. Like, what if this is COVID? Obviously, that's immediately what I thought. I was pretty sure I had COVID. And so I called the second AD and I was like, I feel like I shouldn't come to do the testing at work, because if I show up, whoever I come in contact with then is
Exposed.
then is fucked. Yeah. So, well, they'll have to like sit home from work no matter what, right? If I'm positive. So I'm going to pay for myself to go get like this rapid PCR test and make sure that I don't have COVID. And then if I'm negative, like my call time's not till this afternoon. I'm like, I feel really sick. I'm pretty sure I have strep throat, but like whatever, we'll see. Previously in Hollywood break, I worked through everything. Oh, we did talk about this. I've worked through everything.
Yeah.
We did talk about this.
Yes.
We talked about this in this episode?
Yes. You work through everything under the sun because of
You work through everything.
work exploitation, baby. That is why.
Yes.
But also, can I just say, like, I got back to work. So this part I didn't talk about because we couldn't have. So I got back to work yesterday and everybody was like, oh my God, are you feeling better? So I missed almost an entire fucking week of work.
Yeah.
And they had to rearrange shit. And like this Thursday, they have to pick up all this stuff where it's like just my coverage on things and whatever. But they're like making it work and it sucks, but like it is what it is. And I'm better now.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody at work was like, oh, I just have to tell you, it's so great that like this is the way it should be. Like if you're sick, you should stay home until you're better. No one else got strep throat on the set.
Right?
Yeah.
No one else got sick. Like everybody's fine. And I'm totally fine now.
Yeah.
Like it just is so crazy that we've just created this culture of with this idea that like you can't ever give yourself a break. But more than that, I felt horribly guilty about it.
Oh, yeah.
Guilty. Like that I was like, I had like fucked everything up.
And that's
like, I couldn't
how
believe it.
exploitation works.
Because here's the thing. None of us are doing brain surgery unless we're brain surgeons. So like, what are you doing if you're a teacher, a bus driver, a restaurant worker, anything? Even if you're another type of doctor that's not a brain surgeon, you're not doing brain surgery. Someone else can take it for a day,
But also,
while
like,
you rest.
I don't want my brain surgeon to have strep throat.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't want to get strep brain from a strep throat brain surgeon. It's wild. It's wild, but I'm glad that everybody was so understanding about it because well, as we said, hopefully this will be like a change in attitude about illness and taking time off.
I mean, I hope so. But also, we're still handling it very poorly. So I feel like one of the things that's been very interesting about just the country in the last year is that there's more people understanding what's going on, but like very little being done.
Right.
And I think that this has been an instance in the world where like more people are like, damn, we should definitely not be going to work when we have colds. Dang, I guess everyone should have enough food and money to live. And then it's like, we finally got to the bare minimum agreement. Now we have to figure out if somebody will help us. I mean, like, that's the only thing that I've been thinking about for like the last year too, is like who's gonna help us? Like, I feel like we're all like, we could definitely use some help, right? Like, who's gonna do that? Who's gonna help us? Who do I ask for help? Okay, I asked those people for help. They're not gonna help us. Okay, like, what are we doing? I feel like the main thing for me constantly is just like, I think we need help. Like, truly, that's it. The word help. Help us, please.
Well, help is hard to ask for.
Oh yeah, but we've been begging for it at this point, right? I feel like we've gotten over the hump of even being like, I'm scared to ask. Now people are like government officials, people we voted for. So, and then who's after that when they say no?
Right.
Well, you got to help yourself. I don't know.
You can't.
I mean, people are, GoFundMe's and like everybody's trying to just like spot help people out, just like our friend Yashar will constantly be like, I'm going to just put money into people's accounts, like people's PayPals and Venmos. So and people are so sincere. It reminds me of like It's a Wonderful Life, where people are like, I need a part for my car to get to work. It's $27. if you can give me $27, then I'll be good. Like I can get back on my feet. And so when you realize like it's those amounts of money and like that he's just doing that all the time. And I'm like, what? Yashar's just doing this. Like he's not a foundation. He's not, you know.
Well, we've all collectively, one of the things that like we've talked about, me and my friends, and then like at a million other jobs I'm working, is that like we collectively as a country have gotten us as far as we are. It's like literally, thank God for the internet, because GoFundMe's and Venmos and Cash App, I've seen people go, hey, I've been evicted from my house. Can somebody help me? And they get $20,000 in 24 hours because of fucking Twitter. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like the ability to help each other is what's gotten us to this point, because it's really bad. But like, imagine if there was no like, they always want to talk about big tech companies or whatever, but like fucking Venmo and Cash App are saving people's lives right now.
Yeah.
We're saving each other. Like there's this comedian that I've never met, but like the comedian improv circle is pretty small. You either have a New York one, a LA one, Chicago one, and they blend. And this kid is sick and in New York, and they were like, he needs $75,000. And it was like every name you can imagine, $5, $1, $2, everybody who ever fucking took a class with this kid. And then it's like every once in a while, like somebody got famous and they'll be like $2,000. And then the next person will be like some kid from UCB level 1 dropping $5. And it's like a collective group of the brokest people ever. Comedians don't get paid shit. Got this kid like 75 grand. And it's like, that is what America is. We're getting each other through this crisis, and the government has failed us.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is sad. This is too sad for the podcast. Early in the pandemic, a friend of my son's died. He died trying to help someone else. And his family just shared a GoFundMe because they didn't have money to have a funeral. His family shared a GoFundMe, and I put in a small amount of money myself and shared it on social media. And straight up, I won't name the person, but a famous person who followed me just paid the whole thing. Boom.
That's what happened. It's always like 54 people who like have no money, and then all of us took one class with like one famous person, and that person's like, I'll do it. You're like,
and like, I just don't even know. It just like must have come at the right moment, because this person doesn't even know my kid really, I don't think, and doesn't even know me super well. So didn't know the kid but it just came at the right moment when that person was like, I can do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take care of the whole thing.
We're helping each other out, man. And every little bit helps. So shout out to all of us. I know that we're all like sad and really fully grasping that the people we are paying our taxes to help us are failing us. But I feel like the government is failing us, but we are not failing each other in a big way. I feel like the communities that we've built over time, like even if it's an online community or in your local community, that we are taking care of each other in a way that I think that we didn't fully grasp before.
Yeah.
Which is like,
I also think that there's something like, I think that there is something to that. There was a period of time, I hope, this is my hope, and we're going to get into our inauguration special. But my hope is that, if anything, this time has really illuminated for all of us that like you can't just sit idly by until it's your turn.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like you have to like actually take initiative and step up before
it gets to you.
It gets to you. Right. And like, I don't know. I have hope that is happening more and more, and that people are, I do believe like that there's goodness, and that like,
for sure. And do what you can, you know, it doesn't.
Yeah. And that like, that's the thing too, like with GoFundMe, that's so amazing. Why I do love it so much is that like, you really do see, I've posted things for different organizations and for different, people, and they've reached out to me and told me like the median donation was pretty small, like $10, but like from that we raised 50,000. Like, you know, it's like, that's amazing. That's a big deal and makes a big difference.
Right.
And I think people had been sort of in a place like where they thought like, well, if I only have $5 extra, like I'll just buy a Starbucks. Like that $5 isn't going to do much.
Right.
But it really does.
Yeah,
it totally does.
Once you see that, it makes it like changes your. We've all had a paradigm shift, guys.
But I just want to say, even if you don't have $5, like something that we all have if we're on social media is like a little bit of social capital. So you sharing it to like 50 followers, if 5 of those 50 followers have $5, then that's $25. You know, that everybody can do something.
Everybody can do something. No one can do everything, but everyone can do something.
Before we get to that and to our like a day after the inauguration special, we should just say real quick what we're doing our best at this week. How about you, Biz? Did she freeze?
I go last?
I thought
Sure.
you
Go
were
last.
Sure. Shantira, what are you doing your best at this week?
What am I doing my best at this week? I think that I am really I feel like the holidays are over, my surgery is over, and then like I'm like when we're not in school, I'm not, but you the week back from school, we're like, okay, I'm taking everything seriously now. It's like, okay, like I'm planning out there are no more 2 weeks off for a while. It's like, I'm really getting my schedule in order and hunkering down and focusing on things that are important. So I think that that's where I'm at, is just being like, I'm doing my best at getting out of holiday mode.
Yeah.
And usually we get out of holiday mode like January 4th, but there was an insurrection and the president who was terrible. So like everything got moved to got pushed. And I think this is officially the first Monday where I feel like everything that was stressing me out, like truly can like holidays are over. That stressful time is over, and like this is the first Monday of the year, not before. So that's where I'm at. I'm doing my best at
I think everybody feels like that. And interestingly, if we were still in college, this would be when we were coming back from winter break. So I think that's in our blood, maybe, that so we feel like
I'm back from winter break now, and it's like the next holiday is like what, like Memorial Day or Labor Day or something. Like we have a long time before we get another break. So that's where I'm at.
You don't really celebrate St. Patrick's Day that much?
Nah, that is not for me. That is where my black ass stays in. First of all, I lived in Chicago for almost a decade, and let me tell you something.
Boy.
You don't want to be out in that. So St. Patrick's Day is a day where I stay in the house.
Not in New York City either. St. Patrick's Day in New York City, you will 100% slip in green vomit.
Oh, absolutely. Also, I used to work for the Apple store for a long time, and you want to know what 2 of the worst days ever to work there is the day after St. Patrick's Day and the day after 4th of July, because everybody's a fucking mess and they break their phones. Everybody loses their phone. Everybody gets so blasted on St. Patrick's Day, they lose their phone. So the next day, it's just like a million drunk dudes being like, I ran over it. And then 4th of July, the day after, it's like, I dropped it in a grill. It's like a bunch of fucking dumb idiots the day after those holidays fucking up their phones.
I think Busy wants to go last. So what I'm doing my best at this week is have been vacuuming like crazy. I got a cordless vacuum for a Christmas gift, which it was from my mom, and she said, I normally like to give something like a little more personal, but I heard you mention that you were one day hoping to have a cordless vacuum cleaner. So she got me that, and it's a real life changer, you guys.
Oh my gosh, I love that for you.
Is it a shark? Is it one of those shark ones?
It's not a shark. It's a Dyson. I mean,
okay, here's the thing.
I bought the Peloton of vacuum cleaners.
I bought myself a Dyson last year for every Black Friday, or like every 2 years I get myself something on Black Friday. So Black Friday 2 years ago, I got a TV because I moved to LA and I didn't have one. And then this last year, I got myself a fucking vacuum. And let me tell you, when you fucking clean it out, you're like, my house was filthy. And I'm a clean freak.
So satisfying. It's so satisfying. Like you can just not vacuum for one day and just be, and like, I'm like, I know I vacuumed yesterday, but I'm just going to vacuum today because it's like so fun now that I'm living the cordless vacuum life, and it still fills up the whole thing, and it's so satisfying to empty it.
Yeah, it's wild.
I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's creating so much mess in my house. I mean, dogs and like, obviously, people.
Yeah. But I'm happy for
and
you.
just like
Thank
dirt
you.
is everywhere.
Yeah, dirt. I mean, like, the world is made of dirt.
Pretty much.
The world is made of dirt.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought of two things
Okay.
that I'm doing my best at. Number one is that I finally went through since October and I deleted junk and emails that I just hadn't looked at
Nice.
and responded to some things.
Nice.
And that it was almost 3,000 emails. I did that
Wow.
this weekend. And I feel like that was probably enough. But also I feel like I'm doing my best at having like conversations that I need to have this week with people. Just like meeting it head on, all of it, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness.
That makes me glad. I'm glad for you.
Me too.
Yeah, you really have to hone in on that. There's like some days when you're just like, I will do this email thing. And you really have to like set yourself up for that.
Yeah.
Like I did that once and I mean, I probably should do it again. But like, it's so satisfying. It's the most immediate. It's like, it took a long time to do that. But
It took a long time.
I literally see the results and it pleases me.
Yeah, it's a zero. It's a zero on the inbox, guys. Oh, wait. And you know what else I did? It's real cold here. I'm not going to lie. I've been really missing.
It's cold in LA.
Los Angeles.
It's cold here right now. It's
Yeah.
not enjoyable. So
Don't bother missing it right now.
Yeah, it's cold.
Okay. Thank you. But I like, we're in this rental. There's a fireplace. It's not like where
Gas?
you make a fire. It's gas.
Yes.
It has this remote control thing. And boy, for the life of any of us, we were like, okay, we don't know how to do this. And I was like, surely they left instructions somewhere, but no instructions. And then I texted the homeowner and I was like, hey, how do you do this? And she's like, yeah, I don't know. You just like point it and turn it on. And I was like, that's not working. And you know what I did? I thought back to COVID days, early COVID days. And I looked on YouTube.
Yes.
There
And
you
I
go.
you guys, I looked on the back of the remote for this fireplace and the thing was worn off, but I read like what was imprinted on it and Googled the name of the device.
Nice.
And then found it and then found a thing on YouTube and then found a how-to and watched it. And I made fire.
Yeah.
I mean, I just watched like 5 minutes on YouTube and then learned how to, if you press the two buttons at one time, it'll turn on. But I was impressed with myself.
That is impressive.
Why is Birdie's joining
Hi,
us?
Bird.
Do you want to be?
Hi,
Hello,
bird.
everybody. It's very close.
Some
It's very
light.
close to my mouth. I don't know why.
Do you want to say anything? Or we're going to go to our interview. Do you want to say?
You're doing an interview?
Yeah, say please enjoy
Please enjoy
the recap
the recap
of the day after
of the day after.
the inauguration.
But it's not the day after the inauguration.
That's why it's a recap. Just say please enjoy the recap of the day after.
Please enjoy the recap of the day after the inauguration.
That's it.
That's it. You did it.
I'm personally trying to be more intentional with purchases this year. That's why I'm buying products locally, sustainably, and products that are safer for me. It's why I love using Each and Every. It was founded by two women with a mission to create a high quality natural deodorant.
Our favorite, founded by women.
Each and Every is crafted with just 6 simple, safe ingredients like coconut oil, Dead Sea salt, and 100% natural fragrances from essential oils. Plus, no aluminum or other hidden nasties that you don't want in your pits. I know that people have doubts when it comes to natural deodorant, but Each and Every works. I am telling you, it keeps you dry. It keeps you smelling delicious. I personally love my geranium and snow mushroom.
It smells really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, and the citrus and vetiver also smells like just so fresh.
So we know you're going to love each and every as much as we do. And right now our listeners can get 30% off your first purchase. Just go to eachandevery.com/best and enter promo code BEST. That's promo code BEST at eachandevery.com/best for 30% off today. That's exciting. Guys, I love Framebridge. Casey loves Framebridge.
I love it.
I love it. It's an amazing new service. It makes it ridiculously easy and affordable to custom frame your favorite things, from art prints and posters to pics from your phone. You go to framebridge.com, you upload your photo, or they'll send you packaging to safely mail in your physical pieces. You preview your item online in any frame style. You choose your favorite, or you get free recommendations from their talented designers. The experts at Framebridge will custom frame your item and deliver your finished piece directly to your door, ready to hang. It's so easy. It's amazing. Instead of the hundreds you'd pay at a framing store, their prices start at $39 and all shipping is free. Plus, our listeners are going to get 15% off their first order at framebridge.com when they use the code OURBEST. We used Framebridge for lots of presents this Christmas.
Yeah.
And also just like moving into this new house, and I wanted it, like, it's a rental. I wanted to make it feel like a little bit homier.
Make it personal.
I
yeah.
wanted to make it personal. So I just frame bridged a bunch of pictures from my phone. It was super easy and amazing, and it made me feel like I was at home. I was surrounded by pictures of people that I love. So
we just frame bridged a big map of Los Angeles that my husband got for a gift, and it's gonna look so cool. I can't wait till we get it.
Ooh, that's exciting. Well, guys, you at home, get started today. Frame your photos, or you could give the perfect gift for Valentine's. That's coming up.
Yes.
That made up holiday. Go to framebridge.com and use the promo code OURBEST to save an additional 15% off your first order. Just go to framebridge.com, promo code OURBEST. That's framebridge.com, promo code OURBEST. Hi. Okay, guys.
Hi.
This is it. This is our inauguration check-in special. I'm reporting live from my bed. The day after Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were sworn in, the day after 45.
The
And
beginning of our rest of our lives for the
And-
next 2 years.
his I mean, guys, first of all, let's start. Can we just do this? Can we
Yes.
start with just the first thing, which is like taking out the trash? So first off, I woke up sobbing yesterday. Anyone else?
No, I didn't wake up sobbing.
Okay.
But I did wake up without excited for the first time in a long time.
I actually feel like, you know how when you like do all your school finals and then you like come down with something always the
Yeah.
second that you that's what I felt like yesterday.
Okay, so not surprising, guys. This is Thursday. I had strep throat,
sure.
Dang.
and I got my
Yeah.
culture back officially today, but I've been on antibiotics since Tuesday evening. We talked on Monday, and I was getting sick.
That happens too. Like, did you get it after your massage?
I got it after my massage. I also just think that, like what Casey is saying, I would not be surprised if all of us, like, if there's like, guys, be real careful in the next couple weeks. I mean, especially because of the COVID thing sweeping still.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's something about like, I know from, oh no, I'm going to cry. Oh no. I know for myself, I've just been holding on for 4 years. Like I didn't get sick. Did I get sick one time on Busy Tonight? I don't think I did. Did I?
You and I both got really sick
Once.
together.
That's right. That doctor
doctor.
came. Oh my God, hilarious.
They
You're right.
brought like a hot doctor in to
Give us
To help you?
What did
To
he
check
gave us
us
an
out.
IV and checked us out, and he was good looking.
He was like, yeah, you're sick. See you later.
I hope he's well. Anyway, but I feel like in these past 4 years, I've been like almost like in fighting shape. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not relaxing. I'm not stopping. Like, I'm just powering through. And so then, yeah, this week was the week and it fucking hit me. I went down super hard. I was so sick. And yesterday morning, inauguration morning, I literally woke up sobbing. And I had missed the evening before the inauguration where they did the like sort of memorial
Yes.
for COVID and
yeah.
19 and all the people who have passed away from it in the United States. And but that was like had been weighing on me really heavy earlier in the week. So I was like really, really, really like I was like wailing. I was really going through it on Wednesday morning. And then Mark was like, oh my God, look, it's snowing. And I looked out the window and it was snowing. It was so beautiful and like just stunning. And it was just for like 10 minutes and then it disappeared and it just looked like it had rained. And I would have missed it if I hadn't been, sobbing. And and then Mark was like, that they announced that it's Wheels Up at 8 a.m. Eastern. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, that's it, dude. 8 a.m. He's fucking out. He's gone at 8 a.m. And so then I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to get to watch this in real time because I'm not on the West Coast. I'm here,
Yeah.
So I went downstairs and made my coffee and just turned on the TV and then just waited and was like, it was really cathartic to like watch it live, like watch. First they brought out these like boxes. I Instagrammed it and then like whatever. And then they left. And I imagine you guys probably watched that bit a little bit later.
Probably.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. And then that he left to YMCA, cease and desist till the end.
Well,
And he said, have a nice life.
have a nice life. We'll be in touch. And it was like the thing that was so fun and also wild and also like, where has everyone been for the last 4 years in a way? I mean, some of these reporters have been, and some of them have really been like trying to hold the president accountable. But like how hard they were going was making me even like I couldn't even swallow because my strep throat was so bad yesterday, but like was making me guffaw. Like just before he even came out of the White House, before they even exited the White House, just like, wow, it's unprecedented. And the level of disgrace and disgust that the entire world feels really at this presidency. I mean, certainly he wanted it to be historic. It will go down in history as just the biggest shit show that anyone has ever seen in American politics. He is disgraced. It was like they were going so hard. And then I did put this on my Instagram too. They finally walked out and like Jake Tapper said, well, like everything in his presidency, he's done this all wrong. and then to cut, like, asked the woman reporter who I'm blanking on her name, like first impressions. And there was a pause and she's like, he just looks so small. And like, it was the way she said it. Anyway, then his speech was insane. Oh yeah, the helicopter took off and then it landed to Gloria, which is like, again,
Why
wild.
do they love that song?
I don't know, but her estate.
Her state is mad.
Yeah, her estate's mad.
Yeah, as they should be. Like,
I mean, I can't imagine.
In peace.
What are the Village people?
Village people are upset. The guy who wrote it was like, because like there's this, I was talking to my partner about this. I also read the whole list of cease and desist lawsuits to my dad because he thought it was funny. He was like, who else? And I was like, these are all the dead people who said no.
Right.
and then I read the list, but like, I genuinely believe that, like, no disrespect, that the Village people just didn't have enough money to keep fighting him to stop.
Right.
Because it was like the other people on that list are like Rihanna, the Beatles, Prince, Adele. And then it's like, of all the people that he could probably get away with, I think he was like, they don't have enough money. There's only like 2 of those guys who can fight him. But like Rihanna was like, fucking do it again, I'll kill you. And they're like, what's a band that we could maybe push this with? I genuinely believe that's what happened.
Here's the thing, though. 2 things about using YMCA. First of all, the Village People, well known as like a gay singing group, and that's a gay anthem. Like, you've been so bad to the gay community. Why would you take a gay anthem and use it? And I know it's like a party song, but it's just so silly. Like,
but it's also
so
not.
silly.
It's not like that one. It's not like shout it out, baby, now twist and shout. It's not like twist and shout or something. It is like so specific to our gay LGBTQIA plus family that it is. I think it's on purpose, obviously.
Maybe.
Like, I think he was like, I'm co-opting this. It's mine now.
The second thing about using YMCA is, that bitch has never been to a YMCA in his life.
No, never. A lot of people I don't think have.
I used to have. I had a gym membership to the YMCA in Scottsdale when I was in high school, but then also in Los Angeles, the Hollywood Y was like a fucking scene, guys. It was a vibe. It was so fun.
I bet. But I know Donald Trump has been a private golf club, health club member for his entire life and has never set foot in a YMCA.
No, he's like actively avoided YMCA's his entire life. That is 100% true. Well, okay. So technically, as they were leaving, they're not supposed to ride on Marine One or Air Force One anymore. It's supposed to immediately switch over. And he basically like threw such a baby fit about it that I imagine it was probably like the Biden transition team were like, just let him fucking have
get him
one
out of
more
here.
ride in the fucking plane.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why they rode in Marine One and then Air Force One. But technically it was supposed to be wheels up on the other like generic United States private aircraft. You know what I mean?
Oh, Lord.
But he was like such a fucking baby about it that they had to give him one last shot. The other thing, this is the last thing, wheels up on Air Force One after he was like, have a nice life, we'll be in touch, was to My Way, was Frank Sinatra. My Way. Just,
he
like,
definitely did it his way.
It was so fucking surreal. And then I don't know if you saw when they landed in wherever the fuck they are in Florida, and Melania got off the plane wearing the full Gucci, like, psychedelic caftan. And, like, truly, you guys have to see this vid. If you haven't, please look it up. Like, he stops to, like, wave and talk to the reporters, and she fucking walks so fast.
She's like, I'm done.
She's done. She's out. She's fucking done. All right, so enough of that trash. Boo.
I do want to say I loved the caftan.
Well, yeah, it's Gucci, obviously.
I hate everything about her. I think she looks like shit in everything. Fuck her for the rest of time. She looks like a Nazi bitch in everything. If she wore what Michelle Obama wore, I'd say she looks like fucking shit because she's so evil. I fucking hate her. That's how I feel about her in everything.
Shantira definitely holds that, and
I will give her no fashion anything.
Okay, I didn't even say she looked good in it. I just said I love the caftan.
Here's what I'm upset about is that I feel like I would have killed that caftan. I feel like that would have been a major fashion moment for me.
Anyone would look amazing in that. That's
well,
the thing.
For her,
and it's annoying
she looked like
that
shit in it.
It is
she
annoying that
it
she took it.
Our friend Chrissy Teigen again was getting kind of dragged on Twitter because she was like, I will say this for Melania, she did have some good fashion game, and most people were like Shantira and like,
fuck her.
Fuck
her fashion. You want to know what? She looks good in nothing. I never want to see her in fucking nothing.
Okay, well this leads us right into what I would like to start talking about, the inauguration of Biden and Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah.
I want to start talking about the fashion, if you guys don't mind.
I
took notes. Here's
the thing. I just want to say that, like, Republicans dress like shit. I'm petty enough to say that I'm looking forward. I want my world leaders to dress better than me. I want you to go to France and talk to fucking Macron, and I want to be like, yeah, that's my fucking vice president. You should look better than me. I'm a regular bitch. You are the leader of the free world. Wear a suit that fucking fits.
That's really interesting. So can we talk about one
Yes.
thing before we get to the good fashion?
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about Bernie Sanders going super viral for wearing his Vermont costume?
I think white men get to dress like shit at inauguration. Garth Brooks had on fucking jeans. What the fuck's gonna happen if Michelle Obama showed
With a
up
crease.
in jeans?
You guys,
Gross.
first of all, with what's his name, Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
I don't know. He a little bit like that's. I do feel like country singers get like a weird. He wore black jeans, to be fair.
With a crease.
Yeah. That,
What was
okay?
They were creased.
Yes.
Well, because that's like old school. That's like my dad. But I will say this. Okay, he's a country singer, right? He's a country singer, right? The chicks, they show up in jeans. Are we cool with that? If fucking Reba
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
They
He's a
never
man.
would. Yeah.
They never
Yeah.
would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood. If Carrie Underwood was singing,
Right.
she shows up in jeans. Are we like that's a country thing? Absolutely.
It's a man thing. But here's what I'm going to say. Okay, I'm going to answer Casey's question first, and then we're going to talk. Okay, first of all, Bernie Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's an eye roll. It's a real eye roll. Bernie Sanders in your Vermont costume. Okay, I get wanting to be warm. I get that he's like, I'm old. I don't want to get COVID. I get that he's like, I'm not paying for a stylist and like I'm not spending money on fancy clothes. But that being said, he must have a nice coat in his.
That is his nice coat.
I did do like an image search to see if I could find him ever wearing like a coat with buttons, a
Right.
top coat,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't find one. But
Okay.
I'm like, maybe just get like a Stitch Fix account for like a month and have them send you a little coat for inauguration.
The other thing is, though, don't you guys feel like Bernie at this point is like so hip to the fact that he's like, you know, normcore, that like he's like, the kids are gonna think this is cool.
Yes.
Do you know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
He knew. He had to
He
have
knows
known
what
what that
he's
would be.
doing.
We
Yeah.
talk about this a lot. He plays to his base. You know what I'm saying? And his base, Michelle Obama plays to her fucking base. Barack plays to his base, and I am not Bernie Sanders' base.
No, I
nor
know.
are a lot of black people, contrary to whatever he fucking believes. So he played to his white boy who wears shorts in the wintertime, flip flops to your graduation base, and
His
that's
indie
fine.
rock bass. His indie
Yeah.
rock bass.
He played to his base, and that's fucking good for him. But I also saw a tweet that like it really hit me, and it's like, oh man, people talk about like Bernie would have won or whatever, and it's like, it was Joe Biden's inauguration, and
Yes.
the most popular meme is of Bernie Sanders. So it's not about his popularity, y'all. It's about his politics and who fuck with him.
Ooh, and who fuck with them, and also about like restoring respect.
Yeah.
And you know Biden's gonna like show up in Ralph Lauren, like an American-made designer. You know Dr. Jill's gonna look sharp as ever, wearing an American up-and-coming designer and Jimmy Choo shoes, female founded, owned fashion line,
Yeah.
blah, 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 whatever. Like, you know that they're gonna turn it up. The Biden grandchildren, Naomi, Maisie, Finnegan, Natalie, turned it up. They looked beautiful.
Amazing.
Maisie wore Rodarte with Air Jordans at one point during the last 2 days. Maisie is an icon, obviously. And like, you know.
Ashley Biden wore a suit. The fucking tux
well, I
looked
was going
so
to say,
great.
Ashley Biden's tux is a real, people are
Real moment.
really excited about it.
Yeah, real moment.
She looked great. You know what else I would like to mention, which I didn't know before? Ashley's middle name is Blazer.
Yes.
That's not true.
That's
amazing.
true. That is.
Wait, I'm
that is-
obsessed.
Yeah.
Guys, obviously Kamala and Doug, Shintira's boyfriend Doug.
You know I fucking love. You know I fucks with Doug. He a real one.
Listen, I have to say, Kamala the whole weekend, whatever. What are we calling it? 2 days, 3 days? The inauguration week.
It was the end of something.
Yeah.
It was the end of it all. End of a previous time. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, of course.
It is truly.
Right. Okay.
It's
so
Aquarius
this is
season.
during this dawning of the age of Aquarius, aka inauguration celebration, Kamala exclusively wore emerging Black designers, which is incredible on her person. She also wore my friend Irene Neuwirth, who made a custom pair of pearl earrings for her for inauguration night last night, which is very exciting
for Irene.
It's super exciting for Irene. Kamala has worn Irene a couple times. I think she like owns a piece of Irene's herself, so she's like worn it repeatedly. And I haven't gotten the full scoop from Irene on how it happened, but I think that they reach out and Irene like did some sketches and put together like what she thought would be appropriate for the new Madam Vice President, and they picked it. I mean, it's really exciting for my friend, and those earrings are insanely beautiful. You can look at Irene's Instagram account. There'll be 4,000 pictures of them. But obviously the Emhoff family, Ella stole the show in her Mew Mew.
Oh my gosh. She looked like she just like was off the planet. Like she just looked like
it was a moment.
She was just playing a different game than the rest of us.
Here's the thing. If you are like, I didn't see it, I don't know. She goes to Parsons School of Design.
There
you go. You fucking get it.
Oh wait,
she was in Mew Mew.
She was in Mew Mew.
I think she looked like a super cool American Girl doll meets glamorous cast member of Dynasty.
I also am just going to say this. Maybe she should be an American Girl doll.
That would be amazing.
I don't know what the criteria are, but okay.
She was also underneath the Mew Mew. She was wearing Bathsheba, one of my faves. I have several Bathsheba dresses. And Bathsheba's from New York, and she's an Orthodox Jewish designer. And I just really respected all of the choices that Ella made. And here's another thing I respected. Doug's ex-wife, Kirsten Emhoff, who was in attendance with the kids, taking proud photos. We love to see it. We love to see a healthy divorce, and that she's
a healthy blended family.
A blended family in which, guys, I love this woman. She's literally like taking pictures, smiling, happy to be there, no shade. Her ex-husband is now married to the very first vice president.
I mean, that must feel kind of good.
Imagine? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you must be like, that guy loved me, and like he has good taste, you know?
I was literally talking about this morning because like you gotta like that could go all kinds of wrong, you know? Because especially when you break up, like I'm the type of person, I'm like, I hate whoever you hate. The enemy of you is my enemy. Who are we mad at? And like, you know that her girlfriends during the beginning of that whole process being like, no matter who he's with, don't worry, because like no one will ever be better than you. And then you're like, she's good. She's like a good one. It's like,
she's a producer.
Oh.
I was like, she was showing up in like so many of my friends' feeds on Instagram, like, oh my God, so exciting to see Kirsten Emhoff at the thing. And I was like, is that Doug's sister? Like, I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
And then I did a deep dive.
Entertainment lawyer, right? He's an entertainment lawyer, right?
He's an entertainment lawyer. Okay, so she's a producer, founder, and CEO of the production company Pretty Bird. Under her leadership, the company's films have won Grammy Awards, Emmy Awards, and Cannes Lions, where she personally won a news and documentary Emmy Award in 2012. So, guys, she's doing great. That's why she can smile at the inauguration.
Yeah.
Oh my God, totally. Yeah, she's doing
killing
great.
It. Okay. Then wait, guys, speaking of Garth Brooks and his jeans, did you see the woman directly behind Garth Brooks in his jeans wearing like the hot pink scarf over her head and the really colorful mask?
I did not.
She was on television a lot, and I was like, who is that lady? Like right there, front row seat for...
She must be important.
What's happening? Oh, it's our friend Ben Cooley's mom, guys.
What?
My friend, Jenny Connor, my very good friend, her ex-husband, also a great divorce. And she has 2 kids with him, and they have been their co-parenting partners for many years as they've been divorced. Ben Cooley's mom and Kamala and Maya's mom, who has passed,
Mm-hmm.
became like BFFs at Berkeley. They were like best friends. And I think that it's like Emily Beebe's mom, basically,
Oh yeah.
to me. Wait.
Right.
Yes, that's right. It would be like Emily Beebe's mom to no, wait, no, it would be my mom's best friend. Wait, hold on. How would that work? It would be Emily Beebe to my girls.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
That
like,
makes sense.
What it is like it's your play aunt who's it's the woman who's not related to you that you call auntie and is invited to everything.
And, their mother passed away. And I know that's, I'm sure that has been hard for them because she was by all accounts, such an incredible, brilliant woman. And so I think it was really lovely that Kamala wanted to have her mother's best friend there. Oh no, I'm going to cry.
Aw.
Sitting there to be able to be a witness.
Such an
to it.
amazing
Isn't that
moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But she looks
love-
like very Berkeley. You know what I mean?
I love that.
With the
I
like
love it.
scarf. She and Bernie. I wonder if she
Yeah.
and Bernie chatted because
They would have
look
made
like,
a good pair.
They were definitely like where they were. You know what? They were not there to be cold.
No.
They were just like. I
Unlike
was concerned
in the evening when Tom Hanks was freezing.
All right,
Everyone
we're
said it
getting
was so
there. We're
cold.
getting there. So then, when did you guys first cry? Other than like, I know I cried in the morning, but when did you cry at the inauguration?
I didn't cry until I heard the baby later.
The baby crying.
When I heard the
yeah.
baby crying, because there was like a moment when it was all over and you can like hear a baby. And I was like, there's a baby there. There's a man. Our president can hold a baby. And that's when I cried. When it was all over and I heard a baby and I was like, that's when I cried.
I didn't cry during the inauguration, but I'll tell you when I cried later.
Okay, wait. Well, wait. Can we get through a little bit more fashion?
Sure.
Is this
Oh,
boring
yeah.
for people? I love
I
it.
mean-
Okay. What?
I was like, I mean, like I'll tell you my highlights. My highlights
Okay.
for sure are Michelle Obama. Mina Harris's husband Nick had on some Dior Jordan 1s,
Right.
which was like really cool. Shout out to sneakerheads out there.
I saw
I
them
re-
coming down the stairs behind
Yeah.
someone when
I saw them and I went, who's wearing Jordans? Legit, like that was my initial reaction.
Did you
So
see
those-
what Mina said about it?
Yes, I really
That's
appreciate
cute.
that. Like,
Yeah, it's cute.
Tell everyone what she said.
So she just was like, I know Mina Harris because she interviewed me in San Francisco for my book at the Wing, at an event I did at the Wing. And then she has now 2 of Cricket's favorite children's books. The first one being Maya and Kamala's Big Idea, which is about her mom and aunt when they were children, and about being like persistent and getting even though things are hard, if everybody pitches in, we can make it happen. And then her new book, which just came out this week, is called Phenomenal. And it's about like, it's encouraging especially girls, but all kids to not listen if somebody tells you that you're to this or to that, and that you want to be ambitious and you want to be, and it explains like what the words are and everything. But she didn't tell me this personally, but she said that that they were leaving to go to the inauguration, and he was going to ask her like, should I bring my Jordans or should I wear dress shoes? And then he was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. And he brought the Jordans, and like, it was the right call. He made the right call.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
also like a subtle thing too. Jordans are like just so black. It's just like, that's just like a black thing. Like white boys are sneakerheads for sure, but like Jordans are like a very black thing. And it's like, yo, like up on that stage, it's just like a young, cool dad in Jordans. Like, this is what I want to see. You know what I mean? I want to see myself reflected on that screen. It's like, I got a pair of all pink Jordan 1s in there right now. And it's like, oh my gosh, like somebody who thinks the same things as me has the ear of like the leader of the free world, which
And
I
you
think
know
is
what?
really cool.
I am going to piggyback on that and say that I watched later as Biden did the official swearing in of all of the people that are going to be working in the administration. Not all of them, but a lot of the almost 1,000 people that would be working in the administration. They
Mm-hmm.
like take the oath or whatever. I don't know if you guys watched that. But he said, like, my main goal, and Kathy knows this. I don't know who Kathy is, but bless. I think she like works at the White House coordinating stuff. Is that we wanted this to be a reflection of America. We wanted this administration, all of the people who work here, everybody who are in cabinet positions, big and small, to be a reflection, a true reflection of America. And we made that happen. And so, like, to your point, when you look at that podium,
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot of you see a lot of rich white faces, guys. I'm just not going to lie. You do. There's still a lot of rich white people up there.
Mm-hmm.
But what you also see were a lot of different kinds of people represented, and different ages of people represented, and different religions represented. Like, it, I don't know. To me, it was really almost like took me aback at how inclusive it like just the optics were, you know?
Yeah. I think that it's so beautifully representative, but even if it wasn't as representative as some people are hoping it will be in the future, like, that's a hell of a start. You know, compared to what we've been seeing for such a long time, it's a real good start.
Well, look, we have the first transgender appointee for a cabinet position, which is incredible. You know, I think that, like, the choice has been made to make sure that there's representation all across the board in many, many different ways. And, like, that's obviously a departure
Yes.
from what we saw the last 4 years, which felt like a lifetime.
I mean, it's so interesting, like, how it's been over 1,000 days of this.
Yeah.
If you sit down and think about, like, the night that he who shall not be named became the leader of the free world, that night just being like, okay, let's get through these next 1,000 fucking days. We did this for over 1,000 days, you guys. That is bonkers, right? So, like, be really proud of yourselves. We should be really proud of ourselves. And, like, you get to, like, talk about fashion today, because you want to know why we can talk about it? It's because Joe Biden's not going to try to fucking kill you at 3:00 in the morning on Twitter. So I'm enjoying this. I enjoy what the cabinet looks like. And I'll say, like, Ella Imhoff on Twitter, people were like, shout out to the Jewish girls with curly hair. Yes. I was like, yes, everybody can find a little bit of something
Yes.
on that stage. And I think that's really cool.
Well, that's right. I mean, it just hasn't, like, sorry guys, but, like, you know, Jared Kushner doesn't cut it.
No.
Sure doesn't. I did see a little commentary, and it's interesting. It's worth mentioning. A little commentary online where people were like, all anyone's talking about are what the women were wearing. And I get that. But I feel like we can't be so rigid that to automatically assume that ever speaking about what anyone is wearing is misogynist.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
so I think that it's okay to speak about the way someone has dressed themselves when it's obvious that they went to a lot of effort because they're going to be seen by a lot of people, going to be in historic photographs. It's okay to express joy at the way that they've expressed themselves through clothing. And it's exciting to have women who are very important women wearing these outfits, because men's outfits are normally pretty boring.
But also in the case of, like, Mina's husband, Nick, like, those Air Jordans, Chantiers, those mean something too. Like, and
Right.
Here's the other thing I want to say about fashion, because I get real heated about this. And Carla Welch, you know, is my stylist for a long time, and she's a fucking badass and, like, a social justice warrior herself. fashion can mean things. It has symbolism. Like fashion is art, and the things that we like choose to adorn ourselves with or choose to not adorn ourselves with can mean things. The way that you present yourself into the world. You think about Melania Trump's "I don't care, do you" $4,000 jacket. You know what I mean?
Right.
Think about that fucking jacket. And like, for me, it like turns my stomach, like just like to think about that message being so clearly and then feigning ignorance because of course like can't take responsibility. But then you see Kamala making sure that everything she wore had pearls and a nod to her sorority from her school, and that they always wear pearls. What is she?
She's an AKA.
AKA. I don't know sororities, guys. I don't know I don't know the Greek alphabet.
Well, there's like two really big black sororities. So there's the AKA and the Deltas. And she's an AKA from Howard. I also was not in sorority. I have an aunt who was a Delta, and then my cousin was an AKA, but I was not in a sorority. It is like a familial thing too. Like a lot of people whose like parents are AKAs and stuff. Like my cousin's mom was a Delta, and then it was kind of a big to do when she decided to be an AKA, and I was like, "Oop, they ain't got nothing to do with me." But my mom didn't go to college and did not was not in a sorority. None of my aunts who like helped raise me were in a sorority, but she's an AKA.
But the symbolism of Kamala making sure that there are always pearls, of wearing purple to honor Shirley Chisholm, which also Hillary Clinton also wore purple, and Michelle Obama wore an aubergine plum, a purple plum. Yes, which like that outfit was. Mark and I were talking. What is she doing? How is she? She was fucking hot to begin with, and now it's like on another fucking level. I said I think it's just like her kids are out of the house and she has time. She's like chill. Like she has no she's like has time. She works out. She does what she wants. She's like
I saw this. Black Twitter remains undefeated. I saw this tweet that was like, and here's Michelle Obama with her husband. Escort her with her husband and escorting her up the stairs. And I was like, honestly, here for it. She looks so good. I really love, but like also if you see what she wore to the inauguration in 2017, hair pulled back. She was like, I'm not here to have a good time. We are here to, I want you to see my face. I do not like this. She came with her hair pressed, laid, ready to go. She came there to like, she was at a runway. She was like, we can be bad bitches now. We did it.
Even under the mask, it was like just the makeup
perfection.
Was flawless. It was flawless.
It was so good. And she knew it was so good too. She was like finger guns to Kamala, and Kamala's clutching her heart. It was very much like rolling into a
Sergio
party.
Hudson, who made that entire outfit, which is so beautiful, is a black designer out
American,
of Los Angeles.
Also,
Sergio.
that if you go see the pictures of when that was on the runway, Michelle made it a pantsuit. It was not.
Yes.
Oh, I love
that
it.
she wore pants.
Yeah.
I love that too.
But that's also like, she is not the first lady anymore. And I think that like when she was first lady, if she would have come in a pantsuit, we would have never fucking heard the end of it. I think now the first lady, if Jill wants to wear fucking pantsuits all day, nobody cares. But when the first black first lady, like we would have never heard the end of all the guff, So I really love that she's like, I can do what I want now. I do not belong to you.
When Michelle Obama was first lady, she was so conscious of her fashion. Mm-hmm. So she was very conscious of always mixing high with low.
I remember this.
Just wearing things that were, J. Crew, very available and affordable, and always selling something out. online or whatever, I remember she would always just be wearing like affordably priced pieces. And so I love that she can kind of just like bust out and do what she wants now.
I do feel like the turning point was on her book tour when she did the like full
Balenciaga.
thigh high, like Balenciaga boots, and was just like, here I am. This is me now, world. And I loved that. I love it for her.
My favorite moment, if you ever go watch the video of her, it's when she walks out, there's an audible gasp from the entire stadium. There was a audible gasp when she walked out in those boots, and I was like, that's what I'm talking about. I love that kind of shit. Just walk out and people go, it was great. Go watch it. It'll make you feel good. Or maybe I'll make you feel bad. I don't know your life.
No, it's a fun moment. It's something that I remember as well. And I do feel like I don't like the thing that happens where it's like, I know, whatever. You know I'm a fucking feminist, but I don't like that thing that happens where it's like, these women have more to talk about than their fashion. And it's like, yeah, okay. Except also, especially now, American designers have had such a rough fucking year.
Yeah.
Like, it's been so hard. And to even stay afloat. And these are like really important major moments. The whole world is watching. And I feel like everybody was sending very specific messages. And that was honestly, Democrats just do it better.
We do. We dress better. We dress better. And
we're funnier, better musicians.
Way funner.
Here's the thing.
Well,
I have
please.
missed the pop star in the White House. I've missed art in the White House. We got J-Lo. We got Lady Gaga. We got Garth Brooks. We got a beautiful poet laureate all in the same hour as soon as we got rid of that fucking piece of trash. Like, seriously, you guys, it's the people's house. And the people's house has been devoid of art for over 1,000 days. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make, is that like
fashion is art too, you guys.
Well, yeah, of course. And
right?
like,
So that's the thing. We haven't had that either. All art,
right?
Strict.
And so while it would be sexist for a reporter to go up to the new vice president and say, who are you wearing?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody did that. She wasn't talking about what she was wearing. We were talking about it and enjoying it. So, you know, there's areas.
I think that to Shantira's point, like one of the things that I wrote down in my notes over here is the importance of art for culture and the importance of art in politics and education, because, you know, the entire world became infatuated, rightfully so, impressed with Amanda Gorman, the young poet laureate from Los Angeles, in her Prada coat, which is sold out now. And she was wearing a birdcage ring from this jewelry company I've been stalking online for years now, called Of Rare Origin. I knew it as soon as I saw it because I've been thinking about getting myself these birdcage earrings. You know, I love bird cages, birds, you know, the whole thing. But her ring was a gift from Oprah.
An homage to her gift to Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou.
Right? And and an homage to Maya Angelou, also symbolic. Yes, and J-Lo, like, look at all of the superstar performers that performed both at the actual inauguration and then that, you know, last night at the celebration, socially distanced, feels like we're in the future celebration. This is the thing. The values of caring about others, of empathy, of being able to like want to give back and to help others, those are the things that drive artists. It is just very rare that artists, true artists, the most talented artists, are driven by greed. They're just not. They're driven.
You get
know?
Lady Gaga or Kid Rock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you make the choice, guys. You make
the choice of who you think is really putting out the art. You know what I mean?
One of my favorite moments, and it didn't make me cry, but when Gaga was singing the Star Spangled Banner, I just love that Mike Pence had to be so close behind her giant poofy skirt.
I'm furious that he gets to see her live and all the gays missed out in 2020.
A lot of people said that. I feel like I just wish she had like turned right around and made eye contact with him, like uncomfortable eye contact. But
who knows that she didn't?
I know it's true. It's true. She might have. But I loved the drama of her dress and I loved the drama of her performance.
Yeah.
I
give
thought
it to
that was
me.
like, that was like one of the best national anthems I've ever heard. Like I was, well, not Whitney. I mean, it's not Whitney.
Yeah.
Whitney, I mean, nobody's ever gonna
No
be
one's going to
Whitney.
beat Whitney.
I
No,
also love that. That's where I want my fucking drama. Okay? I want my
Yes.
drama in the Star Spangled Banner. Now go sign some EOs for me. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want drama from Gaga, not drama from Biden.
Speaking of executive orders,
Whew,
really,
some good ones.
really hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Because yesterday, our pal Joe Biden signed 17 executive
Nice.
orders.
That's a good number.
The first one, and what's so interesting, I was like super into finding out what they all were because I didn't do like a ton of whatever, guys. I've been busy. So number one was the 100 days masking, which is
Yes. Federal.
cool.
Yes.
A
So
federal
now
mandate.
all those Republicans have to go into Congress wearing a mask.
It's also like so fucked up that during the insurgents, like two or three or more Democratic members of Congress and Senate contracted COVID from Republicans because
Yep,
they
right.
refused to put their fucking masks on.
It's also really good just because it's clear.
Mhm.
Everybody remember back to the beginning of COVID when I don't even know for what reason they were telling us, like, we don't know that masks work yet. Masks might actually be harmful. And it, like, was it to protect the supplies of PPE?
Yes. It was that they knew that they didn't have enough. They were afraid of people doing a run on masks, which happened anyway. And so the government decided, and the health organization decided to release a statement saying that masks didn't prevent the spread. And it just fucked everything from there on out.
Which, I mean, I just remember thinking at the time, like, if masks don't work, why does everyone in a hospital have a mask on? Why does my dentist wear a mask when he checks my teeth? So what I appreciate about that executive order is the clarity of being like, here's how it is and here's how it is for everybody.
There's so much clarity in so many of the executive orders that he signed. There's also this restructuring the federal government coordination to the COVID-19 pandemic. We rejoined the WHO, the World Health Organization. Thank God.
Yeah.
They extended the eviction and foreclosure
Moratorium.
moratorium. Sorry. Yeah, I was like, my memoriam. Moratoriums. Continued the pause on the student loan payments until September 30th. Also, we could just get rid of them.
Yeah, just get rid of that.
We rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement. Ted Cruz is such a fucking slime ball, tweeting that thing today about like he cares more about the citizens of Paris than
And it's
the
like that's
main
where the
streets
meeting is.
of
That's
Philly.
where the meeting is, you dumb, stupid
It's where it was
bitch.
signed.
He's not, that's what
He's
makes
not
me
dumb.
mad is he's
Yeah.
not dumb. He went to Harvard. He went to Princeton. He thinks that people will actually believe that the Paris Accord only helps the citizens of Paris.
Paris.
Guess what,
And
Casey?
that's like fucking insulting. What?
Guess what, though?
What?
I bet you a lot of people
Oh,
believe that the Paris Accord just helps the people of Paris.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, a lot of people believe that Joe Biden is a lizard. And
A lot of
probably,
people believe that I sold my kids into sex slavery. So,
yeah. So, you know,
There you go.
So there we go.
let's get back to the executive orders.
Yes.
Fuck Ted Cruz. And the Keystone. Did you guys see, wait. Did you see Seth Rogen's tweets with Ted Cruz?
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
that where Ted Cruz like tried to drag Seth Rogen and he said something about like Hollywood liberal elites and you know nothing about you don't know about hardworking union members, blah, blah,
As
blah,
if
blah, blah.
everyone in Hollywood isn't a union member.
You guys, Hollywood is 144% million% all unions. You cannot do a job in Hollywood if you do not belong to the union. You can't even work as an actor. You can't work as a director, a writer. You can't work as a grip, a makeup artist, a hair person. You cannot fucking deliver the food if you are not a member of the food delivery union for film and television. Everything is a fucking union. We are the most unionized. And can I just say this, because the Screen Actors Guild I know a lot about, like our union is one of the largest unions in the United States, and most of the members in the Screen Actors Guild union are not making, over $100,000 a year.
Just working class people.
They're just working class people. So it is so fucking insulting to say that the people who work in Hollywood are not working class people because whatever.
And also, moreover, what's insulting is that you just pried your lips off the ass of a reality show star who was president. So don't talk to me about how Seth Rogen is all Hollywood.
Okay, also, we're just going to keep going. Ended the Keystone Pipeline. That's amazing. Revoked oil and gas development at national wildlife monuments. Remember when Trump put that in? And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up. Actions to advance racial equity through the federal government. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a step. To count non-citizens in the U.S. Census again. Some of these are just course correction executive orders that are like fixing things that Donald Trump signed.
Just undoing all the damage.
The mess.
Yeah.
Number 10 is important because it strengthens workplace discrimination protections based on sexual orientation and gender identity. This is a big deal because the Supreme Court case against discrimination for sexual orientation and gender identity. And then today on Twitter, weirdly, like the bad guys. Can we just start calling them the bad guys? Or no,
Sure.
are we not supposed to do that?
No, we can.
I mean, they are bad.
The bad guys were trying to spin it to make it be about erasing women. I'm very confused.
Oh, TERFs. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're like, yeah.
TERFs. Right. What does TERF stand for?
Trans exclusionary radical
feminists.
So it's like feminists who do not believe that trans women are women. That's literally what it is. They're terrible.
But they're
Super
also
terrible.
just also, by the way, you're not a feminist. So
what's her name? Harry Potter writer.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know that.
J.K. Rowling is in fact a TERF.
Yeah,
And
I
she
knew
is
JK.
She's not JKing about it at all.
No, she's not.
No.
She's a real asshole. Okay. Oh, we ended the Muslim travel ban. Fantastic.
I mean, day
Perfect.
one. And one of the things, too, about the hypocrisy of the bad guys is that a lot of them have been like, Biden just got in and he's all, what about unity if he's doing all these executive orders? That Muslim ban came on day 7 of Trump's fucking presidency. So
Crazy.
Get your head out of your ass, okay? We won and we get to do what we want.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rule.
Defended DACA Dreamers program for the undocumented young Americans, which is great. Stopped the border wall construction.
Oh my God.
Keep protections for a group of Liberians. Right. Okay. All right. Freezing last minute Trump administration regulatory actions. Great. Freeze them.
Yeah. That was
and the last one
bonkers.
was to formulate an executive branch ethics doctrine.
Which
There we
before
go.
was just people promising not to be bad. And now we have to put it in writing.
We have to codify it because we see now if someone wants to take advantage.
It was all the honor system.
Right.
But yeah, I'm really excited for everything that Biden's doing, which is, it's so funny. Like, I think about what he would be doing, because those 17 executive orders are primarily to reverse all the evil from the last presidency. So like,
Right.
he hasn't even gotten started on what he would like to do. He has to undo everything that this evil man did. So I'm looking forward to day 101 when we can see what he wants to do that's not overturning a bunch of evil shit.
Not clean up.
Yeah.
Not clean up.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
I know that we all felt a great deal of hope and excitement and possibility.
Yeah.
So what are some things that like you would hope to see in this administration and with this now? Oh, that was my favorite. That was like maybe one of my favorite moments from yesterday when Kamala had to preside over her own Senate seat
Replacement.
replacement, and she laughed and was like, couldn't believe it. And I just felt like, oh my God, humanity, joy, humor.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So because now it's not exactly control.
I mean,
of
we
the
have
Senate.
control. We have
we have
of the Senate.
control, but it's not like. But in terms of like getting votes for things, it's a little bit more complicated.
Right, because there are some pretty conservative Democrats.
Democrats,
And yeah. For me, this has always been something that is of utmost importance to me. I want every American to have access to health care. I myself have lived without health insurance because of the nature of working in television. You don't just get health insurance from your employer when you're a freelancer, when you're not a permanent. And there was a time when my kids didn't have health insurance because of the nature of our employment. And that's why I'm so grateful to First Lady Hillary Clinton, because she made it possible for my kids to be insured when my family was not. And so I never want anything like pre-existing conditions to prevent anyone from being able to get health care. Because here's the thing, it's not just healthcare. And I know sometimes when people are like, who's going to pay for it? Everything, and people get bogged down in the details of like whether it's Medicaid or Medicare for all or universal health care or whether it's like fixing Obamacare, whatever it is. I just want the situation to be improved because it's not an entitlement. It's what allows you to be your best American. You know what I mean? Like it frees you from taking onerous jobs where you're mistreated. It frees you from losing your home and not being able to pay your bills and going bankrupt because you had like a catastrophic illness or whatever. It just like psychologically frees you from like the constant worry that a lot of people are going through right now. And so that's the main thing for me. It's always been the main thing.
Yesterday I went to the pharmacy because your girl has GERD, and I'm getting a new prescription. And I went to pick up my prescription and the line was so long. It was like 8 people deep. And I finally got to the front of the line and the lady was like, oh, what's your name? I told her and she went to go get me my prescription. And then but she didn't come back with my prescription. She came back and she goes, do you know how much this cost? And I was like, oh shit, like this got to be like crazy. Like, how much is it? And she was like, this cost $67. Do you want it still? And I was like, I have lived my life for $67. I would say absolutely fucking not. I cannot take this. Do not give this to me. But for a pharmacist to see medication, if I'm at the pharmacy, that means a doctor prescribed it to me. I need it, right? So for a pharmacist to have to come back to people and say, do you know how much this costs? Because she is accustomed to $67 breaking people, right? And I saw that line being so long and I was like, do you know how much more efficient this would be if these 8 people could walk up to these pharmacists and just get their medicine? I don't think people understand how inefficient the world is because we make everything cost money when it shouldn't. Money is fake. Borders are fake. Gender is a construct. And the idea that we have the science to help develop medicine to keep you alive, that we coincided with fake paper in order for you to stay alive is nonsense. So I think that's I totally agree with you. But that was a moment for me where I was like, I'm really grateful that I have $67 so that I can get my acid reflux under control. But for her bold assumption, for her first instinct was to find out if I could, not whether or not I needed it, It's fucked up.
I've definitely been behind more than one time. I've been behind someone in line at the pharmacy where, you know how when you're in line at the grocery store and that sad thing happens when the person in front of you realizes they don't have enough money and they're like, put this, and this back, and I'll just take this, and this. I've seen that happen more than once at a pharmacy where somebody's like, I'll take these two. They're the two most important, and I'll just have to like try to come back for these two.
Ugh. It's unacceptable. It's not conscionable. Like,
It's not.
it's just it's so fucked. And especially now, I think after facing this pandemic and knowing that like people are going to have pre-existing conditions. We don't even know what the long-term effects are for people, even people that maybe had very mild.
Being alive is a preconditioned fucking like if you survive the last 4 years, you have survived, like you have like, what's it called, pre-existing conditions. You have a pre-existing condition.
It's also just time for the hypocrisy to stop, because a lot of the people that are preventing everyone from having healthcare have Cadillac healthcare. They will never have to worry about it. Their families will not have to worry about it. And they're making it so that we have to worry about it. And it's time for that to stop.
I think 100%, because we should be able, staying alive is not like, you don't get to say that I don't get to live because I don't have any money. That's fucked up. It's a human right? So like that is one that I'm also like really on board with. As someone who has 0 student loans, I want people to be able to go to school for free. I think that the Republican Party is so afraid of people being educated, because when you're educated, you realize how evil they are. And you see how Ted Cruz has gone to fucking, where'd he go? Princeton and Yale? Where'd he go?
Harvard and Princeton.
Harvard and Princeton. So like he can go there, but he doesn't think that you should go there. And that is something I think people should really think about. You know what I mean? Why would you do that for yourself, but you don't think it's good for me? So I want people to be free from student loans. I think that that's a really big, important thing, because it's destroying everyone's lives. I really want that. So I don't know. I'm just like really, what I want is for Democrats to show the fuck out. We do not need Republican approval to fix things. I think that the first 2 years of Obama's administration was him being nice. We are so fucking nice, and we shouldn't be nice anymore. And also, when I say we shouldn't be nice, we should ignore Mitch McConnell and give people health care. It's like when Democrats talk about being mean, it's like we do mutual aid for 300 million people, and they say that we're assholes. So, yeah, I just want us to, we won. We fucking won. Act like winners. That's what I want.
How about you? What are you looking forward to, Busy? What are you hoping for?
I'm hoping for those things. I'm hoping that the Women's Healthcare Protection Act, WIPA, can get passed. But I'm also, I also am just like hoping for just like a return to empathy and generosity and of spirit. And like, I was kind of surprised after watching the inaugural speech that some of the like right wing takeaways that I saw from like the quote unquote legitimate news sources were just like, they like made it seem like it was so divisive. And like Rand Paul, did you see that fucking bullshit Rand Paul was saying?
Oh my gosh. Well, they're racist. The beauty of it is that Joe Biden said there's a lot of white supremacy and racism that we need to take care of. And the Republicans said, how dare you call me a racist? And it's like, yo, homie, ain't nobody fucking say you. You said you. So it sounds like you think you a racist.
I know.
Right.
Well, he is.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like that's the guilty person, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I think that the thing that's been missing, like I get all the sides, right? Like I get my friends who are super, super liberal saying, you know, let's fucking ride them as far left as we can go, whatever. The thing is, like, I do want to say, like, people are entitled to, like, having differences of opinions on, like, where money should be spent.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Exactly.
how we should be taxed and all of these things. But there are certain inalienable rights that, like, not just our country was founded on, but also, like, what other countries have done successfully.
We have the science, we have the money, we have the medicine. But
Well, we have
yeah.
the maternal mortality rates of a developing country.
Yeah.
We don't have a great, we're not doing great.
No.
So the Women's Healthcare Protection Act is incredibly important as far as I'm concerned. And we need to figure out, I think we need to figure out, like universal healthcare, but also like universal childcare.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and like, and I think that just more, it's just so interesting to me that there are entire swaths of people who don't understand, who like were fed a thing by like Reagan era Republicans that services and help engender people to be lazy, as opposed to like what services and help actually do, which is
help people.
help people, but engender people being able to do jobs and to the best of their abilities and not actually end up in the hospital with some horrible infection because they didn't go for or die of meningitis or whatever.
Right.
It's just like
It's
all of
ridiculous.
those, it's so
because-
ridiculous.
Do you think that Jeff Bezos works very hard every day, or do you think he earns $1 million per second, like probably just sitting around shooting the shit at this point? The whole like classification of people as lazy, that people are like cheating the system, it doesn't exist. It's never existed. It is just a fairy tale that we've been told. So yeah, we need to take care of each other.
Well,
We
a lot
totally
of
do.
it, obviously, our country is so rooted in white supremacy. A lot of that comes from what faces we attach to those programs, right?
Right.
Because statistically, white men are the highest, like they're the highest percentage of people on food stamps in America. Not black women, not young teenage mothers, adult white men, right? That is who is on food stamps. And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
That's
People
right.
need
Yeah.
help. But when you tell the story that it's welfare queens, that it's teenage mothers, that it's black and brown people first of all, it's my fucking money. Give me my money. You take so much money in taxes. Give my money to them. I don't give a care. You know what I mean?
I just feel like people don't understand that, like, you never know when you may need social services. Like you never know when you or someone you love may need that unemployment. And I do think that there's been a shift in perception since COVID. I do think that like there's been a national reckoning with like people who thought that like, oh, I'll never need food stamps. I'm good. Like I work my whole life. I pulled myself up from my bootstraps. These are white privileged people that I'm talking about who like, okay, fine. You had boots and you had socks and you had like multiple pairs of boots and access to the guy that fixes the boots, but whatever. And then this pandemic hit and the whole world changed. And then all of a sudden they've now for the first time found themselves in this position of need. And so I do think I'm hopeful that some people will be able to, because what we had were these people like spinning need into anger.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful that this administration and the Senate and the House being the way that they're structured right now will be able to help turn this more into empathy so that people really understand, like, there by the grace of God are you like able to do any of this.
I also, like me personally, I don't give a fuck if you care. Like, I don't care if any of these people have empathy anymore. I just need the people in charge to do it, right? I need those 51 people that we voted for to be on board. We have been trying to convince people to vote in their own best interest. We accomplished the goal. We won. Now do it. We're the majority. And the majority of us want people to have housing, people to have food, and people to have an education. That
and
is
healthcare,
what and healthcare, right? That's what we want. So like if your uncle and your sister and your cousin think that it's stupid, I don't give a fuck. I want to give it to them and then tell them to shut the fuck up and go to the doctor.
Well, I mean, I do think that that's all valid. Wait, I had one more thing to say about that.
You know that
education.
Yes.
That's the I want to see some. I mean, Betsy DeVos is back on the yacht. So
Yeah.
peace out to her yacht.
Which yacht?
She's on the biggest one, I imagine.
On the big one, right? Because there's so fucking many.
Could have sold one.
I also want
Education.
the Voters' Right Act, the John Lewis Voters' Right Act. We have the numbers for it. That's the thing that's so frustrating. We have 2 years. Like, if people can vote, if people are allowed to vote, we can get all the stuff we need. So that's what I want.
Yeah. And I mean, and we got a bad Supreme Court balance on our hands right now.
Right. So what are we going to do about that? I don't know. I'm not in.
I mean, it's interesting because for as much as I've been fearful, I think that John Roberts has showed himself to be like, he does seem to follow the letter of the law, even when it doesn't agree with his politics. And, you know, so again, like I was saying about Republicans in Georgia being like, listen, we don't like it, but here's the way that these elections went. The same thing with the Supreme Court. We've seen conservative justices being like, this isn't great, but they have a legal point.
You know what I wonder about Roberts? You know how they say that old people go one of two ways, like as they get older. They either get like crazy and more conservative, or
they double down,
or sometimes they go the other way and they become like, they have like perspective and they become super liberal and they're like, none of this means shit and let's do the right thing. I wonder if Roberts is getting more liberal. I wonder.
I don't know. I'm always nervous because I'm always nervous that he's just like just
playing a game,
buttering us up to like lower the boom on something big.
Me too.
I think it's like an ego thing because like Roberts just, I think about Sotomayor too, like actually deserve that job, like based on their career. And I think that there's something about, you've all worked with people and you're like, why the fuck do we have the same job?
Oh, this is interesting. I like this theory.
Why do you think at any moment ever that Justice Roberts looks at Brett Kavanaugh and thinks that they are the fucking same?
Right.
If that was me, I'd be furious, right? I'd be furious. I don't think he fucking cares too much about us. I do think he cares about the law, but the pure audacity to share the same title with these two people who have just been added. So like, I'm a petty bitch.
Yeah.
And I think he's petty.
I think that that's a really interesting theory and one I hadn't thought of.
If you work so fucking hard your whole life to do this thing, some shitty frat boy gets your job.
Your theory that
so
Justice
mad.
Roberts is petty.
Just petty. Yeah, I'm a petty bitch. That's my theory. He's petty bitch.
Okay, wait. Back to our, just real fast, inauguration.
Yeah, we didn't talk at all about the night program.
I didn't watch the whole night program.
I
was
couldn't
done.
either. Come on.
I'm just going to be honest. After, all I needed to see was them get sworn in and nothing happened to them. And as soon as that was over, I went back to work.
It's worth watching. It's worth watching because it was mostly really well done. There were a couple poor lighting choices.
Well, that was hilarious. The three ex-presidents standing
just in
shade
complete darkness
and like backlit.
Yeah, it was very.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. I just feel like whoever was shooting it didn't have the guts to be like, hey fellas, step back 10 feet. So so that was like a weird lighting choice for the 3 former presidents, but it was a fun like variety show. Tom Hanks was freezing and like his lips
Everybody
didn't
was
even
very
work.
concerned about him.
Yeah, he was a popsicle, a Hanksicle. No, I
Why,
was just gonna
why couldn't they get him a heater?
I don't know. I mean, like, who knows? Maybe there was like no outlets available. You know how that shit goes. Like maybe they can't. Maybe like a truck is too noisy with a generator or whatever. You know how. And I'm sure Tom Hanks was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it."
I'm sure he was. At the same time, what I learned this week from having strep throat and because it's COVID, being forced to stay home. Sometimes doing things the hard way in entertainment is fucking stupid.
Yes.
Like, okay, this is all I was thinking about. This is the text message I sent to my showrunner. I've been having a really hard time being homesick. They wouldn't let me go to work because I had strep throat, which is contagious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I have worked on television shows with strep throat in the past.
But that's
Yeah.
bad.
Here's all the things that I have had that they've been like, the show must go on, Biz. We'll
That's
see you.
bad.
We'll see. No, correct, Shantira. But I'm just saying, because of COVID, everybody's like, all of a sudden, like, oh wow, you really can't come to work because we don't want anyone to get sick or whatever. Blah blah blah. But I'm having a really hard time because I'm like, this is unknown territory for me. We're used to powering through when we're in, this industry.
Sick mode. Yeah.
And so I like my showrunner, Meredith, who created the show and she's, works with Tina. So I said, I'm so sorry. I just like really hate this. I hate this. And here's what I've worked through. I just need you to know since I was 19. Many massive sinus infections, multiple flus, multiple colds, tooth infection, like an abscessed tooth. I worked 2 whole days with an abscessed tooth because I couldn't get time to go to the dentist to get it was like I had gotten a filling and the guy didn't cure the filling properly. And it was like abscessing and I felt literally like a crazy person for 2 days. I was on Cougar Town. I did that. Stomach flu, which was insane. I dislocated my knee on a Friday night and I was back at work on Monday and they just changed the blocking around so I didn't have to walk. Mastitis in my tit, which if you've ever been a breastfeeding mother, it is the most painful, horrible thing.
Painful. Yeah.
Once I had pink eye and I just went straight from the ophthalmologist back to set and
oh no.
And there's just like all kinds of things that I've worked through, including like diarrhea, like all that stuff. And 4 weeks after giving birth to Cricket, still wearing a pad to bleed in, I went back to shooting. So like staying home for strep throat is like insane. My only point being, it never would have occurred to Tom Hanks to be like, hey, I might get like pneumonia. It's freezing. Can we do something? Because he's like powering through. Stop, Casey. Stop it.
You can't get pneumonia from being too cold. You can just only get cold from being too cold.
But doesn't it? Well, okay.
I mean, here's the way that it goes. You can get very cold and you can certainly get like say hypothermia from being cold. And maybe that like theoretically wears you down to the point where you'd be more susceptible to an infection. But you can't get a cold from being tired. You can't get COVID from being upset. You can't get pneumonia from being in the cold weather. It's just like you have to have like a virus or a bacteria to get you sick. That's all I'm saying.
I think that one of the things that I have learned from COVID, first of all, shout out to mask. I'm going to be a mask wearer for the rest of my life.
Yeah, for life.
I always was.
But I think one of the things that I think has been really important as an American is for us to finally realize how fucked up this country is, right? So many people have been like, I didn't get a cold all year. As soon as I said I wasn't feeling well, they gave me a week off. And it's like,
right.
that is not something to be celebrated. We celebrate things that are abnormal when they should be the norm, right? And I think that we have people just being like, people should have to pay for school. Most people don't have to pay for school. Like school supplies. Think about that, right? You go to your children's public school that is run by the richest country in the world, and you have to pay for your child's school supplies. You shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to go and spend $200 on a trapper keeper. We have made that the norm. If it's publicly funded, that means that the money comes from the government. The government should buy toilet paper for the school. So we have become accustomed to things that we should not be accustomed to. And like, I even think about like, I've been so sick, and they make you feel bad about it. And it's like, oh, like before any of these things, before you're a writer, before you're an actor, you're a human. And they took away all our humanity and replaced it with being American. And that's not the fucking same thing.
Whoa. For the people in the back.
I was always the same as you, Busy, like working through sickness. And, you know, yes, again, like I think it's the show must go on. When I was at Watch What Happens Live, we were forbidden. If you had a sniffle, if you had a slight cough, forbidden to come in. And I always felt like they were doing me a huge favor. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you for understanding that I don't feel well. And one time Andy Cohen was like, I mean, like, you're welcome, but also it's just good business. Like, we can't have you in here starting an epidemic that rips through the staff. We can't have you here making me sick. We work very closely together.
They don't want you making Beyonce sick either. Let's be real.
Exactly. I don't want to rat you out, Busy. Didn't you get someone important sick one time?
We can't talk about that.
But here's the thing. Everyone's important. That's the thing.
It's true. It's true.
Everyone's important. And I think that one of the things that's wild is people are like, oh, like we don't want the CEO to get sick of McDonald's. And it's like the people who fry the fries deserve to not be sick either. And that is an American thing. Being an American is fucking wild. And if you really think about things that are inherently American, it is rooted in commerce and money, which is also fake. So it's like Americans always work twice as hard. And it's like, here's the thing. You shouldn't have to do that. They should hire a second person and pay you a living wage. There's so many things that are inherently American that when you really take a look at them, it means that people are suffering. So that's where I feel. I just want everybody, I would like American to be inherently connected to treating people well. Like around the world, we're known as selfish and ignorant. When people say, oh, you act like an American, we all know that ain't good.
I do love though. I feel like the world sighed, took a giant sigh of relief yesterday.
Yes.
And I do feel like it's like a new chance.
Yeah.
And I loved personally, speaking about like setting the tone, right? Like the person who's like in charge sets the tone. You know, they always say like the expression that I've always loved, the fish rots from the head down, guys.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's true.
But
I've never seen a fish rotting.
also thrives from the head.
Yeah.
if it has a good head.
If the fish has got a good head, guys, you just throw that fucker back in and let it keep swimming. I don't know where we're going with this metaphor, but I do know this, that yesterday, like I said, I've been sick. So I was sort of just like watching TV all day, glued to the screen. And I watched that thing where Biden swore in all the people who are going to be working in the administration. And he said a thing that was like so rad. Did you guys see it? He like referenced something like when he was vice president, like some sit down with some leader. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. But he asked, what is it that you love about America or whatever? And he's like, I can tell you in one word. And that word is possibility. And that's the word that I hold on to today. And that's what I'm seeing when I'm looking at all of you is possibilities. And that's what we have to bring back to the American people. Possibilities, all American people, not possibilities only if you're born in a certain place or you have a certain color skin or you're born of a certain religion. Possibilities for all. And then he said my favorite thing toward the end, which was like such a boss ass move. He was like, this administration is about respect. I will have respect for you. We can have disagreements about the way things should be done. We should never have disrespect. And I will tell you this right now. If I ever hear someone speaking to someone else with any kind of disrespect, anyone who works anywhere here, if I hear it, you are fired on the spot. I don't care who you are. You're fired on the spot. Everyone deserves respect. We speak to one another with respect. And that is what I have committed myself to doing. And so if you are not going to commit yourself to doing it, you are out of here.
And that's why I can't be president, because I can't respect all these bitches. I can't respect all these bitches. I know I can't. And that's why I'll never be the leader of this country. I'll never, ever do it.
Well, I am not going to be either.
Well, Busy, I would like to say something because earlier I said that I didn't cry during the inauguration, but that I'd tell you when I did cry, and that was during the celebration at night. They had a little video with Yo-Yo Ma, the cellist.
I love him.
I love him. And he said, I'm going to cry now. He was talking about how when the pandemic first started and he started to go online and play the cello every night. And he said, I just thought this is something that I can do. And we all have something that we can do, you know? Yeah. And he saw in that moment that like this thing that he does for money and does for a living, he could also give, and that it would have value to people in this time when we needed something like that. And then sure enough, like a few minutes later, Chef Jose Andres showed up, and he's like an angel on earth, and he is taking, this thing that he's made a great living at and that he's gotten a lot of fame and acclaim for, and he's doing what he can do. And I know I love to bring it around to Prince. When Prince used to perform, he would ask the audience to sing along with him, and he would say, everybody can do something. Like everybody can do something. And so I just feel like when you're saying like, should I volunteer? I think a lot of times we devalue our abilities as Americans, because that comes along with being like, listen, you got to go to work sick. No one gives a shit if you can pay for college. Then next thing you know, we're thinking like, well, what I do isn't important. It's not a big deal. So like writing jokes, whatever, like it might be fun, but it's not important. It is important. It is important. And if you can like make a living at it, that's great. If you can find a way to also use your talents to help other people, everybody can do something. And, playing cello is just something Yo-Yo Ma could do. But I know that every single person listening to this can do something.
I love that. It's also one of the major themes of Kamala and Maya's big idea.
Yay.
In the end, she attributes it to her Aunt Kamala saying, no person can do everything, but every person can do something. Yeah. And yeah, I think that that's really emotional and like incredible. And I even think about our friend Nithya Raman in Los Angeles, my friend who ran for LA City Council. Now I'm going to cry again, who won in like unprecedented. No one thought it. When I say underdog for this LA City Council race, guys, they're at home who maybe don't live in Los Angeles, like it was a fucking long shot for Nithya. And she is so smart and so qualified and so determined and so inspiring that she motivated all of these people to volunteer and to go door to door and to make calls. I fucking phone banked. I did a bunch of stuff for Nithya, but like phone banking, which is kind of wild. But anyway, Nithya like was able to motivate so many people to help with the campaign that now in Los Angeles, she's put out the call to the email list and has asked for basically like a citizens task force of volunteers. What can you do? What are you good at? How can you help our communities? Because our communities are desperately in need. And I just feel like this thing that's happened in government, and especially like even in local government, but also like federal government, where it has been held by these like, you know, precious few white men, right? And it's a little bit like late night television.
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
where they're like, this thing is so hard. Oh, you don't want to do a show 5 nights a week. It's so hard. You have to have gone to Harvard, and and then after you've gone to Harvard, you have to like, you know, work really hard. And
you have to do the 12:30 show for 10 years before you get the 11:30 show.
It's just too hard. You don't want to do that. You should just do like a sweet, easy daytime show, whatever. My point being that politicians have like turned politics into a thing that like only they are privy to. They have made it confusing on purpose. They've made it exclusionary and exclusive on purpose. And the fact of the matter is, weirdly, and this is going to be fucking wild, and everybody hold on for it, those insurrectionists had one thing correct. That is all of our house.
Yeah.
When they were like going through their, like, this is our house, smearing shit on the walls. Now listen, I don't smear shit on the walls of my house.
That's not what we want to do.
That's
not
our
what
house. Yeah.
No, in my home, I've never had a child that has smeared shit, and it's just that's never been our issue.
Yeah.
But they actually aren't wrong. Like, and so I think
It is
that
the
we're
people's house. It's the people's house.
people's house. But like, we are at this like pivotal fucking moment where the problems are huge, and we cannot count on the precious few who've been elected to just show up and solve them. Like, we have to get involved. We have to like stay in contact with reps. We have to figure out local government shit. We have to run for fucking office. Someone out there who's listening to this podcast right now, run for office.
We have to, and I say this with no shade, but you have to pay attention. You have to pay as much attention to what our elected leaders are doing that affect all of our lives, as much attention to that as you pay to The Bachelor.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, we've talked for way too long.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have any final thoughts? I like never been a huge fan of the Katy Perry song Fireworks, but then I just was fucking into it and loved it. I loved that moment. But then I was like, it's too many fireworks and I'm scared.
It was a
and
lot.
Are the dogs scared? You guys, fireworks kind of scare me.
They are scary. And, you know, there are quiet fireworks. I know they're not as impressive, but like we've all seen it, you know, we've seen. And now we have like the drones that you can fly in formation.
Yes.
So, and those are quiet. So why don't we just like invest in drone spectacular technology?
But I also like, I hate balloons popping. Like, I don't like those loud noises.
I don't like balloons.
I'm just very sensitive to it. People were kind of getting mad at me on Twitter because I was like, too many fireworks. They're like, it's never enough. We should blow up the sky. I was like, I get
think
it,
that
but
this
also,
was like also one of those American things where just like showing that we have good production. Like, I think that it is one of those things where they were like, we are going to show every aspect of how competent we are. We are competent at fireworks. We are competent.
Well, when you don't steal the whole inauguration budget, I guess you can buy some fireworks.
Yeah. So I think that that is the thing too, is that we've spent so much time being ripped off that this administration was like, whatever it was before, twice as many fireworks. Show them that we know how to organize an evening of television that's not completely a mess. So I think that they did overkill. I do believe it was like very big, but they were like, let's just show them we didn't steal the money.
But, well,
I give this inauguration 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. That's where I'm at. feeling
2
good.
points
Fashions-
off because it was a pandemic.
2 points off because you know what? You got some shit to fix. So we'll see what happens. Maybe the next inauguration will be a 10 out of 10. But you know what? It'll probably be a 9 out of 10. I can never give the government 100%. So, but I'm going to say 8 out of 10 for me. How I'm feeling on day one. That's how I feel.
All right.
All right.
Well, I am giving it the same as Shantira.
I give it a 10 out of 10 for an inauguration. Now, the administration, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, they're going to have to earn that.
But also, like, before you start screaming on Twitter, like, why aren't they doing this way? Blah, blah, blah. Like, actually just look into it. Like, look into what the rules are. Look into, like, what the history is of, like, what everyone's job is and what they're entitled to do in their job, what their powers are. Just, like, get to know it a little bit. It's interesting. It's every bit as interesting as the Real Housewives. Just think of it like the Real Housewives. You know,
I love this
But-
advice.
Yeah, with deadlier consequences. To be honest.
Yes. So just, you know, when you wonder why someone's not doing something that you would do if that was your job, look into it.
Happy inauguration, everyone.
Hey guys, happy inauguration.
Happy inauguration. We
Let's
did
do
it.
it.
We did it. Let's
do
do it.
Do you know that women are 4 times more likely than men to say that sex was not all that pleasurable in the past year? Did you know that? I could have fucking told you that.
I could imagine that.
Yeah, I could imagine that very fucking easily. Let me tell you something.
Well, luckily.
Dame Products is here to help. Dame, D-A-M-E, Dame. Like you're like a sexy dame.
There's nothing like a dame.
There's nothing like
in
a
this
dame.
world.
Nothing in this world like a dame. Anyway, Dame Products is a, what do we love? Female founded company, women founded, making sex toys. Developed and tested by real people with vulvas in Dame Labs. They're engineered to bring your solo and coupled play to new heights. They're making the world a happier place, one vagina at a time.
Nice.
I love it. Get empowered, ladies. Get those vibrators on. Also, it's been a hard year for a lot of people. A lot of people have been alone.
It's been a hard year, and we're talking about, like, self-care, and I think that, like, having regular orgasms is healthy. That's what I tell myself anyway.
You guys, do you know about the Arc? It's a G-spot vibrator that helps you find your fucking G-spot. After launching in January 2020, Arc sold out in 72 hours.
Nice.
Also, do you know about the Eva 2?
This is fascinating. A wearable, hands-free external vibrator for couples that has flexible wings, that it's smaller and lighter, so the wings hold it in place, so your hands are free to do whatever your hands want to do.
Okay, the best part, Dame offers hassle-free returns within 60 days, so your satisfaction is literally guaranteed. So go to dameproducts.com/busy today for 15% off. That's dameproducts.com/busy for 15% off site-wide. Guys, you really want to, you got it. Let's just, everybody needs to get some in 2021. Oh, Casey, do you know what's on my bed right now?
Is that some pretty sheets from Brooklinen?
It is.
Brooklinen sheets are so nice. Like, I can't say enough just how dreamy it is to lay down on a set of these sheets.
When it comes to finding high quality sheets and bedding at a price that won't keep you up at night, Brooklinen is the right choice. I remember when I've been a customer for years, true story. And I'm so happy that they're advertising with us because all of my towels, all of my sheets, I love it. I feel like I've been taken for a ride by expensive sheet sets before. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it's confusing because then you're like 3,000 count for 2,000, but blah, blah, blah. What am I buying? What is this? Why are these so expensive? Why are these not expensive? I don't get it. I just want it to be soft. I want it to feel good. And that's what happened. Brooklinen was started by Rich and Vicky, who just were trying to find beautiful home essentials that didn't cost them, the mortgage of their home. And when they couldn't, they founded Brooklinen as the first direct-to-customer bedding company. It has over 50,000 five-star reviews and counting. I love
So good.
Brooklinen. You guys, it's so good. I've literally bought everything there is to buy from Brooklinen. It's 2021. Do something nice for yourself to start off the new year. Go to brooklinen.com and use the promo code BEST to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more, plus free shipping. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code BEST to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more, plus free shipping. brooklinen.com and use promo code BEST at the checkout.
Check it out.
We are back. Remember the joy and the fun
And the outfits, baby.
fashion.
Let's go.
Let's go. Listen, I feel like I don't know what you guys. I don't know. I'm so tired. I had to be up at 5 this morning, and then I have to be up at 5 tomorrow morning, and I don't know what I'm ever allowed to talk about with this show or not.
My vibe is always nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My vibe, you want to know what I always think? I think that when they send you something to post, that's when, because I don't trust these hoes. So like until the check is cashed, until not even, you can fucking sign a contract. We've heard about people ripping up shit after the contract is signed. So send it to me.
No, I'm with you on that. But this, like, I just mean, like, I don't know. There's like, they're so weird. All these companies, they like, this is where I get like, ugh, it's such a fucking eye roll, like, guys, who fucking cares if I say who's guest starring on the show this week? Do you know what I mean? Like, ooh, it'll ruin the surprise. It's like the world has changed. No one gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's like between Twitter and Instagram, if anything, like talking about a thing makes it more appealing to the people who are your fans.
I used to work on this one show, and the network would always ask us to make teases for the show, and one senior person on the show would go insane because they were like, you're spoiling everything. And I was like, no, you're trying to like tease it. You're trying to get people to be like, oh, that looks funny, I'll tune in to watch the rest. But this person just lost their mind every week over how we were ruining the show and spoiling everything.
And I feel like a lot of these networks and stuff, like they feel like they've lost all control.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so they like are trying to get it back by making just arbitrary rules, like whatever I talk about on this podcast needs to be like run through their legal team. I'm like, come on, guys.
Good
like,
luck with that.
Are you fucking kidding me? Good luck with that, A. And B, like, well, just let me talk about Girls Five Eva. Arguably going to be one of your favorite television shows, and certainly one of the weirdest things anyone has seen in a while. It's so good and so fun. But after working my full day, I did have to go to a very special athletic thing to learn. I had to learn how to do some athletic stuff. I don't even know what to say. I'm trying to keep the secret.
Yeah. You're living that Marvel life, baby, and I can't wait to see what you do.
It was a little bit like Marvel. But then I also went back into like body shame vibes because I just feel like, whatever, dude, who fucking cares? See, this is where I go. Like immediately I'm like, who fucking cares? Except then I have to like be on camera. It's just fucking hard. It's hard. Now I'm just swearing too much because I'm too tired. Hey, listen, guys, here's the deal. Last year showed us one thing, and that's time is meaningless, but also you never know what life is going to throw at you. And if you used credit cards to pay for unexpected expenses, it can be overwhelming to manage the debt. Here's what you can do. You can take control with Upstart so you know exactly what to expect. Upstart is the fast and easy way to get a personal loan to pay off your debt all online. Upstart finds smarter rates with trusted partners because they assess more than just your credit score. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate up front for loans from $1,000 to $50,000. You can get approved the same day and can receive funds as fast as one business day. If debt is taking over your life, it's time to get a fresh start with Upstart. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/best. That's upstart.com/best. Don't forget to use our code and let them know we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information you provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/best. Function of beauty. A function of beauty is the function of beauty is the function of beauty.
It was very Bon Jovi.
Function of beauty. Real talk. If you don't love your hair, then you need to leave your current hair products back in 2020 with the rest of that bullshit. And you need to try Function of Beauty instead. You've heard me talking about it. We love it. Function of Beauty is the world leader in customizable beauty, offering precise formulations for your hair specific needs. So first, there's a quiz. You love BuzzFeed. You know what princess you are. You want to take a hair quiz. You talk about your hair type, hair goals. You choose your color and fragrance or go fragrance free. Then Function of Beauty creates the perfect blend of ingredients. It bottles your formula and delivers it to you along with fun seasonal stickers and all the instructions you need. Never buy off the shelf just to be disappointed ever again. Go to functionofbeauty.com/busy to take your quiz and save 20% on your first order. That applies to their full range of customized hair, skin, and body products. Go to functionofbeauty.com/busy to let them know you heard about it from our show and get 20% off of your order. functionofbeauty.com/busy. Guys, what's going to happen?
Things are going to get better and will be better. And the fashion, if anything, the fashion will be better.
We're just trying to, wait it out, get those vaccines.
If anything, Christmas will be better at the White House.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You mean the first lady won't say fuck Christmas? Because we definitely skipped over that part.
I mean, trauma. And, but like fucking saying happy holidays is like an affront. Like, come on, guys. I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, really,
the hypocrisy of it all.
The hypocrisy.
It's like a load of hypocrisy. And as you were saying earlier, Shantira, now everyone's found their voice to like critique very minor things.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like that hypocrisy to stop as well. I know, listen, journalists, I know you got a journalist. I know you got to put something out and say something. But like, I'm just not here for you being like, this is the worst thing, this watch, this Peloton bike, just come on.
You're full of shit.
I know. I guess it's just like, I'm so sick of everybody being full of shit, myself included. Do you know what I mean? I'm serious. Like, I just want to let it fucking go, guys.
I hope you enjoyed that, you guys. We love you.
We do love you. I don't think there's anything else exciting happening. Is there?
No, Shantira has to go,
All
so we
right.
should just wrap it.
All right.
I have to go. Okay, love you guys.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
All right. Well, we said goodbye to Shantira. So now I guess this is just the slow march to saying goodbye to each other.
Yeah. Just,
I want to go take an
That's how we
Epsom salt
do.
bath, I guess. Maybe.
Okay. All right. Well,
I do enjoy those. If anybody out there wants to advertise on this podcast and you have Epsom salts, I would definitely take that money.
yeah, or if you want to try an Epsom salt bath yourself, on the recommendation of Busy, maybe that's something nice you can do for yourself this week. And we will speak to you next week.
We will, but just wait, just a tip. You use a lot of the Epsom salts. I know use a lot. That's the best way to really get the benefits of that. Like, dump more Epsom salts in there than you think you need. You're gonna like it. I promise.
There you go.
I promise you.
There you go. So when we talk to you next week, hopefully a huge percentage of you have taken a very salty Epsom salt bath.
And reach out and let us know if you ever roller skated rollerbladed whilst riding a bike and what the outcome was for you. Did you hurt a Mazda? Did you hurt yourself? Did you break your wrist?
Did you succeed?
Did you succeed? I don't know anyone who's succeeded. I do think it's insane that both Shantira and I did that. And I'm going to go learn my lines and go set up my coffee station for the morning, which is something that I've found, guys. Maybe this is like, I'll leave you with this little helpful hint. This re-entry, waking up early business work vibes. Maybe some of you are just doing that now. I don't know. You know, people have to go back to work. Fucking COVID. But one thing that I have found helpful when I have to wake up super early is that I preset all my coffee stuff. I guess that's why people have those coffee makers that just automatically do it, huh? And you set a timer.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Well, I make pour over.
Yeah, you do your pour over,
and I do everything the hard way, you know. So I can't just But you know what? It would be maybe just it would be nicer to just set a fucking clock and have that coffee made.
You're not alone. We did pour over for years until we were like, this is stupid.
Wait, I legit think that this is the moment where I was like, oh, this is stupid. I'm just going to buy
because like, why am I going to stand here pouring over my coffee when I could just get a machine to pour the water over?
Why do I do that? Explain it to me. Do we know?
I'm going to hook you up with my husband and you guys can talk about why you like to do things the hard way.
Well, I mean,
because you guys are like so similar in that way. Then he'll be like, the second after he completes something really complicated, he'd be like, oh, you know how I could have done this?
Same though. Same. It's so insane.
Yeah. I think it's because you like to jump into something and like throw your whole self into it. And then, you know, you're like really dedicated to it. And then like, as you're doing it and figuring it out, you're like processing a possible easier way that you could have done it. But the pour over coffee is like a ritual thing, and you know, and it feels fancy and like you're doing a thing, but then you realize
good. It tastes
good. It does taste good, but then you realize it's exhausting. You know what the best coffee is? The coffee that someone else made.
No, I disagree.
I think coffee tastes so good when someone else makes it. And then when I make coffee for my husband, he's like, this coffee's amazing. I'm like, yeah, because someone else made it.
Now, Mark tries to make my coffee for me sometimes to be nice. And I'm just like, please just let me do it. Like I don't even know why it doesn't taste as good. I do it better. Oh, but that's also just me. That's now we're in a hole. Now this is a spiral. This is
like a whole
other podcast of just like,
yeah,
I have a real issue with letting people do things for me, and I feel like I'm the only one that can do it correctly. And yeah, I'm fun to be around,
but
guys. I'm fun to be around.
Yeah, I think everybody's like that. I think Mark's like that. I think I'm like that. I think my husband's like that. I'm sure Shantira's like that. So, you know, let us know if you're like that as well.
Let us know, guys. All the stuff.
If you're the only one.
Guys, like and comment below, okay? Just, you know what, guys? Hey, guys, what are your plans this weekend? Guys, you know what I love? Warm blueberry muffins straight from the oven. What's your favorite recipe on a cold winter day? Comment below.
You missed your calling.
I just like anytime somebody that I follow on Instagram is just so clearly trying to like boost engagement. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Are you kidding? I'm not going to tell you what I like to cook on a cold wintry day. All right. Fuck you. But also, and I'm sad Shantira is going to miss this part, but I just have like a tiny little bit of, so there's two people I follow. I don't know if I currently follow them. You know, I go in and out sometimes. I didn't even know I could do that. I follow, I unfollow, it's great. I mute. But there were these people that I was following, totally different people, different spheres of celebrity, but whatever. And both and it was not a hate follow because I don't believe in that, but it was like infuriating sometimes. Like their posts would like infuriate me because it was like that kind of stuff, like I was just saying. But then also just like kind of like nonsensical. Like I didn't get it. And I know
Yeah.
both of the people sort of in real life. And I was like, I don't understand. Like this isn't their personality. Like I don't get what they're
What's
fucking
happening.
doing.
Yeah.
And then I found out this week that they both use the same company to do their social media, which is like, again, talk about doing all the things the hard way. You know, I don't have anyone do anything for me for social media. So like I'll literally be on set and Ray will text me like, remember Olay needs you to post those 3 stories in the caption by noon. And so here it is. And I'm like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. I gotta like, you know, figure it all out. So it does make sense that people sometimes like pay.
Yeah, but then it leads to you looking at like this weird dystopian social media post being like, what the fuck did this person's brain fall out?
It's so crazy though. Like, don't they? This is what I don't understand. Like,
they don't go look at it.
I guess they don't.
Yeah,
well,
it's wild. I know exactly what you're talking about. And sometimes I'm just like, oh boy.
I mean, but like, truly, I just feel like if it were me, I would want. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I think whenever
it's weird because
I don't know.
Social media is supposed to be personal, and that's why like you do it to really engage with people. And so when people are like, what's your favorite winter recipe or whatever, you know that they don't really give a fuck what your favorite winter recipe is.
Yeah.
So that's not authentic engagement. And then also when you find out that someone's just paying someone to do their social media posts to engage you, then you kind of feel like a fucking chump, right?
You feel like cheated. Like I feel so embarrassed if I ever commented. Like who are those people? You know,
like you just like have been talking to like the hand inside the puppet or whatever. It's a little weird.
I'm sure it's just like
weird.
a 26-year-old girl. You know, like
maybe it's like a person who's like super expert at it and they like know more about it than anyone else, but it's still not who you thought you were talking to. Which is like you're not entitled to talk to anyone, so you know it's fine if people want to do it. But it is just it's a little weird. And sometimes I am just like, what is happening with this person? Like it seems like a weird like performance art.
Well, for a minute I thought
inscrutable.
For a minute I thought that this person was doing like a weird performance art, and I was like, this is next level. Like I don't even fucking know what this is. It is so wild. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do next. Maybe that's my next move in social media, because I feel like I'm reaching the end of whatever it is that I do on social media. I feel like I'm just like, ugh, it's like
blow it up.
People
were getting rid of their blue checks on Twitter this
week. Well,
I
wanted to talk about that. I saw Yasser do it.
Lester got rid of his blue check,
and then Morgan Murphy did it.
I almost did it.
I feel so free. I almost did it today. Just like to, but then I was like, shit, I do so much brand stuff. I thought maybe it would like fuck with my business.
I didn't do it because when I had a book come out, the publisher's publicist got me the check, and she worked really hard to do it. So I will never let it go because she really had to beg them to give it to me. So
it was like hard for me. I didn't even get my real name for like years.
Oh, wow.
It was somebody else had it, and mine was just like, and so I was Busy Phillips 25 for like literally like I feel like it was just in the last like 2 years that I got it back, or 3 years. It's so strange. Well, guys, you listen. If you think,
never can land the plane.
If you think you know who I'm talking about, drop us a line.
Put it in the comments.
What's a celebrity's Instagram account that you're pretty sure is run by bots? Comment and like and subscribe, and I'll let you know in the comments if you're right. What? I don't know. Is that how it works? Maybe.
We'll talk to you next week. We love you.
I love you.
Bye.